And we are live.
Hello.
So how is everyone?
Good.
I'm doing great.
Acceptable.
It's like, well, don't all answer at once. Jeez.
I just got home, so I'm still like winding down from work and having my coffee.
Hey, at least you got coffee this time. You didn't have coffee last week.
That was a rough day.
You didn't have coffee last week?
I was all out, and it was not an experience I ever wished to repeat.
Had to result to tea.
Which I do enjoy me some good tea, but it is not a substitute for coffee.
No, not at all. Like I got my cup of coffee right here.
I am the opposite of you, Fox. I am all tea. And if I'm out of tea, I'm like, all right, I guess coffee.
There's just something about starting D&D up and having just, a fresh cup of coffee just sitting there.
Yep.
I guess I'm the weirdo who just doesn't drink
Fair.
coffee.
But then again, I've got my energy drink right here as well. So coffee and energy drinks, that sounds like a good combination at, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night.
Your poor heart.
What heart? I don't have a heart anymore.
You mean the coffee pump in our chest?
Exactly. Look, my heart doesn't function anymore. I just run on caffeine and that's it.
See, caffeine doesn't do anything to me, which is one of the reasons why if I do drink coffee, it's just out of pleasure, because the caffeine does not affect me. Years of abusing Mountain Dew did that.
I'm right there with you, but it's years of abusing energy drinks for me. When they first came out, it was like all I ever had because I was working retail at the time, so I needed it.
I must have
Same.
I must have missed that side effect because I am nothing but caffeine and it still has an effect on me. I mean, like I'll wake up like from like an afternoon nap and I feel like completely destroyed, and I just get like one of my gamer subs and I'm fine. It wakes me completely up.
Oh, lucky. I wish I did have something to wake me up.
I guess I shouldn't say that it has no effect on me. It doesn't have a positive effect on me because when I go without it, I'm a miserable bag of crap.
Mm-hmm.
But when I have it, I'm acceptable.
It levels you out. You like you don't feel the full surge like you used to, but you still feel the withdrawal.
It's an equalizer.
All the good effects have gone, but I've still got the bad ones.
Oh.
Yep.
So last week was a bit of an interesting endeavor. You finally set out to sea. Pearl noticed, Pearl brought to the attention of the crew her previous night's encounter up on the crow's nest, where a random seagull landed on like the rim of the nest, regurgitated a silver compass, flew off out to sea, and then promptly died. In that same direction, she saw a mentor of hers who she could have sworn was ripped off of a dock by what she assumes is a kraken, just standing out in the middle of the ocean like it's, Tuesday. There was a bit of talk about just ignoring it and continuing on course, but the silver compass itself was getting a little bit aggressive as it was pointing east and slamming the tip against the glass covering of the compass, trying to get attention. The crew went east, found the underwater remnants of a boat, cleaved in twain. And a random pile of treasure just sitting out in the middle of the ocean floor. Unable, like, once everybody was down underwater with a plan to recover said treasure, no, there were no traps or anything, none that Shara could see. But as soon as she scooped up a handful of treasure, it awoke a giant crab where the treasure was calling home at the moment. Bit of a battle erupted from that. Rory almost died, experiencing the effects of drowning as Pearl used a healing spell on her unconscious form. Thankfully, still with the dress in tow, was able to change back to the Hakaral dock worker in order to breathe up water. After the treasure was recovered, Pearl and Shara decided to look at the captain's quarters of the destroyed ship and found a waterlogged journal along with a small duffel crab, a hermit crab who can somehow exist halfway inside, halfway outside a bag of holding. Bit of shenanigans happened with that crab, but Shara has decided to take it as a pet for the time being.
That's adorable.
And
What
when
could possibly go wrong?
nothing at all. That's a wire. It's not my cat. my foot hit something. I thought it was my cat underneath my desk. Afterwards, the group met up regarding what they found underneath the treasure and this waterlogged tome. And Rory decided to put the tome and this compass together, or this journal and this compass together. And there was a reaction that occurred. What reaction? Didn't go into too much detail, as that's because we left off right there. But as we pick up today, a faint blue light begins to emanate from the journal as both items sort of leap out of your hand, Rory, and onto the table. The compass sitting on top of the journal, wide open now, as it projects this strange misshapen image. It's not really it's very hard to make out. Every now and then it kind of comes into view, and for a split second you can see what sort of resembles a map, but then it goes back to being just completely jumbled. And as it's kind of fighting with itself, the image changes to a very muddled looking form of a person, a voice sort of echoing out from it, but again, something is interfering with it as you can't make heads or tails of what's being said. It's mostly garbled. And as it reaches the end of its message, the light dies down and the compass shuts.
I Rory's going the garbling sound. Does it sound kind of like the way sounds is distorted underwater? Does it remind me
Yeah,
of that?
it sounds like somebody is trying to shout at you under like violent water.
I have an idea. Somebody tie a rope to me or let down a ladder. I'm going in. Whoever wants to come can come. I think I need to listen to this underwater. Pearl, this is your stuff.
I can
Wanna
come with you.
Thanks,
Um,
Trigger.
we're gonna take everything underwater. Is that the idea?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll come.
So Rory's gonna head up to the top deck and bark some orders to have a ladder dropped, or let Jenka do it because she's got a louder barker than I do, or rather more
A
intimidating.
louder
in that
barker.
way.
A louder barker. I like it.
That's fair.
You don't
I like
have
it.
an intimidating
I like
voice. You
it.
have a louder barker.
I do.
So guessing
I
they could
like
like,
it.
put like a ladder or something down so we can get back onto the ship easy, like however we got on before.
The helm
We'll
the
jump overboard.
the person on the helm kind of looks over. You want us to stop the ship there, Captain?
That's what Jenka just said.
Is that what Jenka
Did
just
you
said?
hear her?
Y'all got water in your ears? Drop the anchor and drop the ladder.
And
Let's go, people. Come on.
The helmsman rings the bell next to them, and the sails come up, and as everything starts to slow down a bit, the anchor is dropped.
I'm gonna give eyes
There
to
you go.
to whoever's at the helm. Like, when we leave, let's remember to bring it up this time.
Oh, that weren't me, Captain.
I know. Just don't make the same mistakes.
Oh, no. Anchor up first, then sails.
Yes. All right. Whoever's coming, come along. And Rory will take off some articles of clothing down to like something that's more easily dried, like more just her billowy top and like undershorts.
The undershorts.
She's gonna jump in.
Are you taking the dress with you, or?
Yeah, I guess I probably. Well, I don't know how often I can use it.
You can. There is no limit to how many times it can be used.
All right, I'll put the dress on, then, and think of the shark guy again.
And again, it's just that very odd, and it's not really painful this time. It's just like a very numb annoyance as like your face and your body morph.
I gotta test out some other aquatic forms. This is extremely painful. Okay. Teeth, when they burst out, it's very ow. Did you have a problem with that when you were like a kid? Did you got your teething? Did it like hurt extra hard? She asks Shara.
The Carl newborns are born with a full-on set of teeth.
Okay. So yeah, I'll jump in.
Okay.
And when
Go ahead.
whoever's coming is jumped in with me, then I'll press the compass to the book again. But I'll wait a minute.
Okay, so you're taking the book and the compass then?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. So Pearl probably would just take off her coat and hat and boots again and somersault off the edge and do a sort of a fairly graceful dive into the water.
I'm not going to be mean to make you roll for that.
Well, I think it's sort of her thing, but I'll roll. Just a second.
Nah,
Let's see.
I'm not going to make you roll for it. Because if I make you roll for it, and that means there's a chance of failure, that means very painful belly flop off the side of a very large boat.
Okay, so it's Pearl, me, and Janka, right? All right.
Okay.
I hopped in the water as well.
Alrighty.
Literally overboard, fully dressed.
You jump into the water and you press the book and the compass together, and it's the same outcome. Everything now is even more jumbled because you're underwater and you can't get a clear image of it, and the voice is more blocked out by the like the noise suppression of the water itself.
Worth a shot. Didn't work.
Can I understand it?
Not really. It's not that it's speaking a different language. It's just whatever it's saying is very distorted at the moment.
Can I do an Arcana check to try to figure out what, if something, like maybe we're missing a piece, or
Sure.
like maybe this is two of a three-parter or something that we don't know about?
You most definitely can do an Arcana check on that one.
All right.
Since I am of aquatic creature, I'll just turn and look at the captain, knowing that she can't really respond back to me. But I'll be like, wonder if the book is magical enough to where, since it was waterlogged before, maybe dry it out and it won't sound so gargled.
That's a good
Maybe
idea.
the person or the voice will not be so underwater.
I can actually talk because I'm in a shark form right now, so I can talk to you.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
Yep, that's true. Hi. How are
So I just
you?
respond like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll try that next." And I rolled a 22 for Arcana.
22.
As I kind of stare at the items and think about it a bit.
You have a feeling that maybe this compass is more than it seems. It seems to be pulling information from this book and displaying it in like a visual sense. Since the book itself is at this point in time destroyed due to the waterlogging, you get a feeling that if this book was repaired, or you're able to repair even a couple pages or whatnot, you may get more information from it.
Okay. Can anyone do mending on our ship?
Not yet. Well, I mean, I only have a couple cantrips, and that isn't one of them. But it really, well, it doesn't really cover that.
I'm gonna start heading up. Let's get out of the water. This is not doing any good for the book. Although it's probably as destroyed it's gonna get, but
Bryant meets you on the edge where the ladder was put down. He's kind of just staring at you, shaking his head. Did I not say bed rest for the remainder of the day?
I don't know. I read this series once, and if you put items that sounded weird underwater, it made it clearer, and I thought I'd try it, but I guess what they have in books isn't always what happens in reality, so... But I had to know.
I see. Well, did you get any information from your little underwater listening party?
It sounded worse, but I did get in the sense that I think this compass is trying to reveal what's in the book, but it's having a hard time because everything's so damaged.
Excuse me, Bryant.
Yes.
Do you have a way that you can magically and safely dry the book? It's a little beyond what I can do.
Well, I can do something that Mama Plum taught me. A little bit of fey magic. If it works, I should be able to reconstruct the book. Mind you, it's going to take me a couple days to do. It's not an easy process.
Please, here. Right? You cool with that, Pearl?
Yeah. Do you need the compass too, or can I have the compass back?
Oh, no, I only need the book if I'm repairing the book.
Rory looks down at the compass like she's a little hesitant to hand it back to you because she really wants to experiment some more, but she'll reluctantly put it back in your hands.
Pearl takes it and tucks it safely into an inner pocket.
You will let me know if it does anything new, will you?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. Maybe try putting it on other books. Although, stay away from a certain collection in my library. It might have some weird effects.
How do I know which ones to stay away from?
Do they have like all black cover to them? Or
Oh
is it,
no,
like a
no,
maroon, or...
they are various colors, and all of them have very cheesy, erotic sounding names.
Avoid the second shelf to the left. Just work off anything on the first shelf or below. Don't touch anything on the second shelf. I mean,
Oh,
you're welcome to read it. Just don't put the compass to it. I have no idea how that will react. They're enchanted.
okay.
But you should totally borrow it sometime. It's a really good read.
I'll keep that in mind.
You too, Janka. In fact, anybody, really. Feel free.
Who wants a Hollow Suite program?
Thanks. Keep that in mind. Too bad this isn't Ash. Ash would be like, fuck yeah.
You would not see Ash for like a good 4 weeks. She's just locking herself in there.
Trust
Like
me,
ever.
you've
ever.
never read anything like these books. Ever. Anyway,
And
I guess
Challenge accepted.
I am supposed to rest.
yes, rest.
I take
Check.
off the dress and transform back to me.
I'll be in to check on you later on to make sure that you're still with us.
Bring tea.
How do you take your tea?
You know how I take my tea.
He kind of like looks at you. He's like, I believe you ordered tea twice when you were at the Bounty.
That's true. It was mostly wine. Some honey. And not too picky. Just as long as it's warm. And has a
Dealer's-
good smell.
Dealer's choice in honey. Very well. You get rest, and I'll get started on this book.
I mean, I would ask for wine, but I've got that in my cabin, and I'm sure you'd...
And he kind of like it's like water and rest for today.
Okay.
Just
I roll for
walks off.
deception. Oh, I failed.
What'd you get?
Oh, no. Well, it's still a good roll because I'm me, but I rolled a 5 on the die, so that's going to be a 13.
A 13. Well, he rolled a 1 on the die, so you beat him.
Yep.
He's like, yes, that whatever. I will be working on this book if anyone needs me. And the helmsman and the rest of the crew are kind of like staring at you, waiting to see if you're continuing on the course or what's going on.
Oh, right. Jenka, you want to get them going again?
Right. And she'll, in a bellowing voice, start shouting to raise the ladder, raise the anchor, and continue on.
All right, here we go. Skill check to see if they listen. All right, they're fine.
Son of a bitch.
Well, I have to make a ship handling roll for like anything that they do. But yeah, anchor comes up, sails go down, and you're all back on course. So for the remainder of the day, you're pretty much free to do as you wish. Like, by this time, you being a little combat worn, some of you nearly drowning and everything, you've pretty much got R&R for the rest of the day. Meaning you have free time to converse or anything like that. There's also the treasure hoard downstairs that has been cataloged and is waiting the captain's inspection. But for right now, the day's yours.
I fill a flask with wine and
Of
head
course you
down.
do.
It's like a little water skin, so it looks like it's water. And then I'm gonna go downstairs to do my job. Apparently, I got a job to do down there, so.
Is anyone else interested in going down and inspecting this treasure?
Bold of you to assume I ever left, except to hop in the water.
See, what I really did was clone myself so one was with the treasure and the other was in the water.
There we go.
I'd love to, but I am dealing with the other treasure hoard that I unleashed on the crew quarters.
Oh, that's right.
Helping to clean that up.
And like the entire time you've been cleaning that up, the little crab keeps running after like some of the pieces of treasure and kind of like sucking them back into the bag of holding.
I let it because it makes my job easier. So
every now and then you see it kind of like accidentally grab like a crew member's spare boot or something and pulls it into the bag and walks over, and like one of the discarded hammocks that you threw off get pulled in. But
no.
For the most part, it just grabs all the shinies that kind of exploded out of the bag to begin with.
just means the quick cleanup is quicker, right? That's
Yep.
all that
And
matters.
once it's all said, like everything is said and done, you can see the numerous dents in like the walls from where like the coins exploded and embedded themselves in the wall. The very large dent where your axe sort of did the same thing.
Any coins that are like really lodged in there, I just leave them.
Okay. Kind of just give the room a bit of decoration.
Yeah, exactly. Gives this place a bit of character.
Sparkles in the torchlight or lamplight.
Rule of the crew quarters is if you could pull a coin out, it's yours.
Exactly. And after that's all finished, I just relax in my hammock because I still got a point of exhaustion from that battle. So
You do.
unless anybody needs me for anything, I'm just going to be resting here and thinking about how I want to discipline Pim in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's right. The crew member's name was Pim.
Yep.
Okay.
What did Pim do?
Pim was the one that was manning the helms and decided to tell people to drop the sails before the anchor was raised, which caused damage to the ship.
Him done fucked up.
Jenka will remember this.
Speaking of remembering this, Jenka, if I remember correctly, you have carpentry, don't you?
Yeah, Jenka did repair some of the ship.
I do. Yes. Just out of curiosity, while I was doing that, did I gain any points towards my proficiency for doing that at all? To try and become proficient in it?
As long as you spent 4 hours doing it, yes. You can roll a d6 as long as you spent 4 hours.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, after investigating the treasure, she was gonna go back to just kind of finishing the rest of the repairs so they're not so slapdash like last time, just to make sure old girl didn't sink. So probably after that, yeah, she probably would focus more on that, to be honest.
Okay. So yeah, you can go ahead and do a d6 for skills for that. So those of you who are going down to the treasure, it's they've loaded everything down into one of the cargo holds, and it's been separated into coins, other coins, gems and jewelry, and then a bunch of what they just call whatever. It's just crates and barrels, some of them destroyed, some of them not. Discarded chests that seem to have had the locks either completely ripped off or the tops ripped off of them. It's just a bunch of junk. But for the most part, like everything that they've pulled and they've calculated or like they cataloged is shiny stuff. And when you get down there, one of the crew members hands you, Rory, a list.
Thank you.
And on it, it's got detailed out that it's got 5,000 gold coin. And it's like, it gives you like a very large minting date, like gap. Like this goes from like just minted this year to like maybe minted about 50 years ago. On top of that, there are just these pile of coins that they don't know where they're from. It's foreign currency. Still gold, just not carrying the same crest as the Isles. And there's about 12,000 of that. And you've got about 40 to 40, you've got about like 40, 45-ish various gems and jewelry that are like in a small, that they've just located into like a small discarded chest.
Okay. I'm going to have them pack the foreign currency into a separate chest.
Okay.
And the gems, I will let Pearl and the others all know that we have various gems if they need it for any, of their own arcane purposes. Because I know, being an arcane person myself, that gems are a common thing that are needed. And I'm going to set that aside as well. That chest I'm going to have both of those things brought to the captain's quarters.
Okay.
And the rest of the gold, I will wait. I'm going to keep it in the chest and wait for our next meeting to decide how we want to divvy that up.
Okay.
But I'll put that under, well, maybe I should. Do we have some sort of like place where things can be locked away?
Captain's quarters.
Oh, all right. Bring it all to the captain's quarters. Then. And then I'm going to post a guard outside the captain's quarters. Mainly Shara, but since Shara is asleep, I'll put one of the other Hakarls on the guard duty. And yeah, so with the intention, like if anyone else, like Cannonball, if you're down there with me, like I'll mention that to you too. Like should we talk about, I figure we'll wait until tomorrow morning to discuss how to divvy this up. I do want to make sure the crew gets their fair share, but in case the rest of our leadership have ideas of where this gold can go.
It's probably a good idea to also maybe discuss the percentage of treasure that you're going to set aside as payment for the crew members.
Exactly. That's what I want to discuss. No comment? Okay, well, we'll talk more tomorrow morning then. Rory gets a little unsettled with Cannonball's tentacles and his weird silence, and she's going to just follow the coin back out and up into her captain's quarters and escort it and tell them where to put things in her quarters.
Cannonball just gives her a long staring look of, oh my god, what the fuck have we gotten ourselves into?
Yeah, she's like, I didn't know what to make of that, so she's like, I'm unsettled. I'm leaving.
Good. Back to reading your books.
So, and I think I will kind of just look. spend a little time taking a closer look at like the jewelry to see if I can pick up any little hints of anything that might be a little more than mundane about it. So I kind of play with it and see how it looks on me and like
Okay.
just spend some time. So that's what the captain's going to be doing the rest of the day, is playing with the
thankfully
jewelry.
thankfully for the captain, playing pretty princess dress up does not garner any negative effects, as none of the jewels or jewelry are magical.
All right.
They are pretty much just your basic gems and jewels that were probably part of a shipping manifest.
Anything that had like a unique insignia on it, like a crest, a family crest, or it looked like it might be an heirloom or anything. Or a locket.
You saw a couple of them have like various insignias for the like the goldsmiths and the jewelers who made the pieces,
But no like family.
but no like crests of like any important house or family in the Tricorn.
Okay, worth a shot. Could always, stuff like that bumps up a cover.
Yeah, and it kind of gives you more of a feeling that these were in transport as part of like a delivery than something that somebody already owned.
Okay. All right, well, that's what I'm doing.
Yep. Pearl, Jenka, what are you guys doing?
Okay. When we found that shipping manifest that fell out of the duffel crab, who took that?
I don't know. I didn't know who picked it up.
I think it was one of you guys. I know I didn't.
Did you pick that up, Rory, or not?
I wasn't there for that. I was up top.
Okay, so can I assume that Pearl has that manifest?
I would assume that Pearl probably grabbed that manifest the moment she saw it, because it does have like your grandfather's insignia, like in 4 different places on every page of the manifest.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my quarters, and my quarters are kind of unique. I was able to speak to Pitter and Patter a bit, so they are very much sized to me, and they have, although quarters are pretty standard, they have a slight nautical theme, and it's a gnome-sized bed with kind of shells at the end coming up to give it a more of a sea kind of look. Anyway, I'm going to go to my desk, and I'm going to pull out the manifest, and then I'm going to go to my bookshelf and pull down some other books I have. I assume I might have a spell book or 2, and maybe I might have some kind of, book about sea creatures, something like that. Just nothing unusual, really.
As a druid, you wouldn't necessarily have spell books.
Okay.
As they call on the magic through nature itself.
Okay. Would I though have like notes or writings that I had done in correlation with studies and things I had done?
I would assume if like Pearl is a very
Circle
astute,
of the Shepherd Druid,
very astute note taker. I would assume that you do have stray notes here and there.
Yeah, okay. So can I assume I've got basically a book of my notes of a journal that I've kept, okay? Because I have been traveling at sea. So my journal, okay? And I've got the manifest, and let's assume I have one semi-trashy novel or something, I don't know. 3 different kinds of books. So I'm going to take the books down, put them on my desk, and then I'm going to try putting the compass on each of those books.
All right. And as you put it on each of the books, the compass really doesn't respond to any of them. It kind of just sits there.
Okay. Alrighty. How long would that take me?
That little experiment,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably about like getting everything down and set up and doing that. It's probably about 10 minutes, seeing as how there was really no reaction from any of the books.
Okay. So I am going to wander over to the captain's quarters and knock on her door.
One moment. You hear the sound of metal kind of clanking and being kind of dropped into other pieces of metal, and then a chest closing, sound of a lock. And she opens the door. Hello.
Captain, you had mentioned that I could try my compass out on some of your books. Are there some books I can borrow to try it out on, or can
Oh,
I do
yes,
that
of
here
course.
without disturbing you?
Of course. She slyly takes off the tiara she forgot to take off.
Looks nice.
I was just, trying it on.
It sort of needs the dress to go with it, though.
It really
Just
does. You're
saying.
right. It needs the whole picture.
Yeah.
But yes,
Anyway,
here's my bookshelf. Most of it is just tales, stories, a few journals.
okay. So, do you have, say, a mundane story book or some kind of journal that you have? And then, do you happen to have anything that you know is a magical book?
Yes. And yes. There is a journal I picked up on my journeys of essentially the life of a courtesan. It's a very interesting read. She was a spy, and it's one of my favorites. So you're welcome to try it on that. I think it's a little bit more fiction, but I was told it's a nonfiction journal, but who knows? She'll pass that over to you. And then I really don't know what this is gonna do. It's an enchanted book. But okay. And I'll grab one of the hag's books. Hand that over.
One of the story books, though, like the holographic type ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. We got what, the two different ones then so far?
Yeah, one's
Okay.
just a mundane journal. Maybe it's true story. Maybe it's just elaborate fiction. And another is an enchanted smut book.
Okay. So can we put them down on your desk here?
Okay. Sure.
Alrighty. So then Pearl is going to take the compass and put it on the novel about the courtesan.
Doesn't really do much. Again, you put it on there and it's motionless.
Okay.
That's kind of what happened. I tried it on some books I had, but I don't have anything magical. So,
This one's just a story.
all right. Shall we try it on the other?
Yeah. That's
So-
I'm hesitant, but what the hell?
So we're going to take the compass and set it on the other book.
This is the enchanted smut book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you place it on the book and it sits there for a moment and it's quiet.
I swear this is enchanted, but doesn't seem to be reacting to it. Maybe it reacts to only certain types of books. Maybe that's why it led us to that treasure trove, led us to that book. Maybe it's tied to it somehow.
That's what I'm kind of thinking, is that, the compass was just a compass. I got the compass. And then I thought I saw my mentor standing on the water, which was kind of bizarre. And then we found the shipwreck. Now, my mentor would not theoretically have been on that ship, but who knows? But I don't know if there's a connection there or not. But the only response we've got so far has to do with the waterlogged book and the compass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the compass is, behaving normally most of the time. The only time it didn't behave normally was when we went and got the treasure, picked up that particular book.
Well, maybe keep an eye on it. If it
So
starts acting
Bryant is,
strange again, maybe we're near something else that it's connected to.
but there in the stuff you've got there wouldn't happen to be something like a silver chain or something, would there? Like sort of my size?
Let me look. Is there a jewelry with a silver chain?
Yeah, there's a silver chain.
Takes me a moment, but I eventually pull it out.
And Pearl, you actually see the stamp into the metal itself of your grandfather's metalworking company inside, or like on one of the links of that chain.
Oh, well, what a coincidence. This seems to be from Goldspar Metalworks, so it would have been one from my grandfather's factory. All I like to do here is just actually put this compass on a chain. Then I've always got it. I can look at it, but I know it's safe. I'm, it can't fall out of a pocket and things quite so easily.
Sounds like a good idea.
She's going to do that.
Okay. And it's simple enough. You can fit it through the little, like the little ring,
ring at the top.
The little ring hoop that it's got at the top for captains to put, to like attach a rope, or in your case, a chain to it.
Or I could kind of imagine like a watch.
Yeah, like a pocket
really
watch
classy
type thing.
Watch, pocket watch things.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'll do that. Well, Captain, you were told to rest, and I'm not helping matters here, but you did invite me to come and check the things out, and I thought I had some free time, and
You're welcome to stay and look through the rest if you like.
no, I think I'll leave you to rest. You will rest, won't you now? And then, yeah, I will be taking my leave. Thank you so much for your time.
Have a good rest of your day, Pearl. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay.
You're always welcome.
Thank you. So then Pearl will probably just make her way down to the galley and poke around to see if she can find Bryant and see what he's actually doing with this waterlogged book. Does he have it in the oven, or what is he doing? And just kind of spend the rest of her day relaxing, I think.
Okay. Bryant,
and writing all this down in her journal.
Bryant is honestly nowhere to be found at this point in time. He said that he gave the galley crew orders that he was not to be disturbed for any reason. That what he was going to do was going to be taking utmost focus and concentration. The last thing he wants to do is set the ship on fire. Reminds me, I have to roll a d20. Okay, still good. Jenka, are you doing anything? Or you said you're focusing on
the ship.
Yep, repairing the ship. Gotcha. Alrighty.
If it matters at all, I rolled a 4 on the d6.
All right, so that will be 2 ticks off the clock. Cannonball.
And if I remember correctly, for proficiency, it's 30, right?
I think it's 36 or 35.
35? There we go. It's 36.
Did I make
Thank
it 35?
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate myself. I made it an odd number.
That's what you told me
Oh.
when I asked about.
I made it an
large
odd
ship
number.
permitting.
Oh.
I can change it to
No,
36.
no, 35 is fine. It's already set. Yeah, Cannonball, you taking care of any business today, or?
Yeah, we're gonna do our job as first mate here. We're gonna take a look at crew morale.
Okay. Just like hanging out with the crew, making sure they're doing their jobs if they need anything themselves.
Yep, maybe, you know, having a little bit of rum with those who are off duty once everybody else, well, once I am myself off duty, and for those who are on duty while I'm on duty, yeah, make sure they're doing their jobs and, you know.
Yep. All right, can you give
Those who
me
are doing a good job and kicking the ass of those who are failing.
can you give me a charisma roll?
With pleasure. Flat charisma, correct?
Yeah, just flat charisma.
That is a 16.
Okay. Yeah, crew morale is pretty good right now. Especially after, you know, the sight of all that treasure and then all of that crab meat that was pulled up. So everyone is happy for that. So the rest of the day and night come to pass. Everybody taking care of their tasks or resting, or a combination of both, drinking wine when they're not supposed to. Yeah, HP Fox, same. I could eat about 40 pounds worth of crab meat right now. And as in the evening hours, Bryant does stop by the captain's quarters to make sure that Rory is resting as she should be. Is Rory resting as she should be?
No. She's been drinking wine from her flask, sitting Indian style on the bed with writing into her own journal, and she's humming like some songs to herself and just kind of like swaying while she's writing. So she's not doing anything crazy, but she's definitely clearly buzzed.
Okay. So as you're writing, you get like a swift like thwack on the back of the head.
I like go try to find my rapier, which I left way too far away from myself.
I told you water.
Oh, it's you.
Yes, it's
Was
me.
that necessary?
Obviously.
I am drinking
Water.
water.
No, you're
I
drinking.
know.
Rory,
There's water in it.
Rory, you stink of wine.
You want some?
No, not really. He kind
It
of
was a hard
he
day.
kind of takes the water skin away from you and just throws it behind him.
Why? I'm the captain. Damn it! I
Yes.
should be able to have wine.
And it's my job to
want-
care for the captain. And he like hands you a very warm mug of tea.
To take it.
Now that will help you sleep.
So will do the wine.
Yes, but you won't wake up with a hangover with this tea.
Fair point.
Aside from that, you look fine.
Feel fine.
Hopefully in the morning you'll be back good as new and ready to assume your captain duties. Just stay away from the wine.
Fine. She eyes a bottle of rum in her cabinet.
He walks over to your cabinet and just waves his hand, and you hear an audible click.
Wait. No. What did you just do? That wasn't magic I like. That was bad magic.
No, it's good for you, Magic.
That's bad magic.
Drink your tea, go to bed. And if you get into there, I'll know.
No, you're a lot more fun when you're drinking with me.
And I will be happy to drink with you when you're actually 100% and not recovering from almost drowning.
That's why I needed the wine.
He walks over and he picks up the wineskin as he starts to head out. Tea, then bed.
Tea, then bed.
Good. And he shuts the cabin door, and then you hear another audible lock.
Oh, really? You hear a book being thrown at the door. I guess I'll finish my entry in the journal because I'm not going to immediately go to bed because I'm going to be defiant in some way. I'll drink my tea begrudgingly, but it's really good.
And as you drink more and more of the tea, you find yourself getting a little more drowsy.
Stupid Bryant. Furiously writing in my journal. Thinks he can tell me what to do. I'll show him.
I'm the captain.
I'm the captain. Yes, I'll show him.
And
I stay up all I want. And sleep.
yes, it is sleepy time to Yazarin.
It's come back.
But yeah, so Rory drifts off to sleep. And everyone wakes up the following day completely rested. Shara, you no longer have that point of exhaustion.
And this will be the last day that our 11 temp HP is active.
Yep. But Rory, you kind of find yourself sleeping in the next day as there's a brief knock on your door that wakes you up.
Mm-hmm.
And then a click. You hear a lock turn. And Bryant steps in and puts a key like in his vest pocket, and him and a couple crew members wheel in the trays for the morning breakfast for the crew meeting.
I am woken up by this, and I have full bed head, little drool across my face, and I'm just like, wait, what are you doing? It's early.
Captain, it's way past first bell. As he kind of like dismisses the other two, and he walks by you and he takes the key out and he unlocks the rum cabinet, puts it back in.
Thanks.
You know, you could have done that yourself,
Probably.
but I'm proud of you that you didn't.
I was tired.
Yeah, that tea will do it to you.
You didn't.
What?
Did you do something to my tea?
No, I didn't do anything.
You drugged me.
I didn't drug you. It's just what the tea does.
Blair.
Various mixtures of plants from the Feywild.
Oh, and that's not drugging me.
No, it's an herbal supplement to help you sleep.
Whatever you want to call it. It's effective.
Is effective.
I actually kind of liked it, but I slept in too long. Leave. I have to get presentable. I look awful. Go. Shoot.
Well, you look fine, but
Leave.
fine. He kind of escorts himself out and shuts the door and kind of just stands there waiting for the rest of the crew to show up.
Rory locks it on her side. And then you hear just rushing sounds of her getting a basin and water splashing and different kinds of things. A little bit of purple magic sparking here and there. It's like trying to get herself ready. By the time she opens the door again, it's like perfect hair. Just the right amount of subtle makeup. Everything in place. Looks bright-eyed.
Pearl,
Oh. Uh-huh. 'Cause. Uh-huh. 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 Uh-huh.
when you wake up, all over your bedroom walls in like black ink is the phrase "stay on the trail."
Oh, Lord. Well, my initial reaction is I'm going to be really upset because I really like the decor. Uh, you know, oh dear. So, all right. So, black ink.
Black, it's like squid ink.
I was just going to ask.
Yep.
So, sort of like squid ink. Okay. I'm immediately, just because, I'm just going to look and see if that little duffel crab's around.
The little duffel
Nope.
crab is nowhere to be found.
Don't see the duffel crab. Okay. I'm going to walk over and have a look closer. Is the ink wet or dry?
It's wet. And it
Oh.
is 100% squid ink.
Oh my. And it's multiple times this is written.
It's almost to like, you know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy all over your wall. Like every inch of your wall is just stay on the trail.
Okay. I am not happy. I probably would have worn the compass with me to bed.
Compass is still there.
Compass is there. I open the compass.
And once again, the compass is spinning.
Okay.
Like agitated spinning. As like
all
every
right.
now and then it's like locks onto a position and it goes to another one and it goes to another one. It just can't seem to make up its mind.
Okay. So no, but nobody's come to get me yet.
You would probably have woken, because you are like an established sailor, you would have woken up at first bell.
Okay, all right. Okay. Oh my stars. Oh, I am going to go pounding out, and I may be a small gnome, but I can really yell loud. And I am going to call for probably, I'm thinking, now Shara wouldn't be on duty yet, right?
Shara and everyone else would just be waking up at this point in time.
Just be waking up.
Yeah,
okay, I am going to try to go out. I'm going to basically try to find or call for whoever would have been the night watch.
Okay. So you kind of like lean out your door and call for the like the watch guard or something that was stationed below deck. And a very tired, very worn out young man kind of comes around and kind of like white, like rubbing his head, obviously has a migraine. You called?
Yeah.
And it's
double
Pim.
time.
It's
up
Pim.
to my quarters right now.
Okay, if just big old yawn, if you say so. And he just follows you up to your room.
Okay, you were the night watch?
Mm-hmm.
Who got into my room?
Only you.
Look at my walls.
Kind of like looks into your room. Those are nice walls. I like the seashells.
No. The writing on the walls.
He kind of like looks in and what's writing? Ma'am, I'm not seeing any sort of writing on the walls. Is this a test? Oh, is this the punishment for me messing up yesterday?
No. So you didn't see anybody go into my quarters?
after lights out, I didn't see anybody in the officers' quarters, or the officers' hallway anyway. I assumed that everyone was present and accounted for in their rooms. Well, save for Shara, she was in the crew quarters, but nobody has set foot in anyone else's room.
Okay. Could you do me a favor and go get the morning watch person who's going to relieve you? And
That would be me.
You're on watch twice in a row.
I'm on watch for last night, this morning, and tonight.
Okay.
For crimes against the ship.
I need to speak with Cannonball. Can you ask him to come to my quarters, please?
And he kind of nods and he walks down the hall and knocks on Cannonball's door.
And while he's doing that, I'm going to go back into my quarters. I assume I have a wash basin.
Yeah, everyone's got a wash basin and everything like that.
Okay, I look in the wash basin. Is it just water?
Just water.
Okay, I'm going to splash my face with water.
Okay.
Then I'm going to look at the walls again.
Walls are perfectly fine.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I'm going to look at the compass again.
You look at the compass. Nice and calm.
I am going to run out and run up the crow's nest. And I'm going to take out a spyglass and I'm going to look all the way around.
Okay. So as this is going on,
and everybody's going to see this frantic gnome running around like they're possessed.
And Cannonball, you get a knock on your door. Mr. Cannonball?
What do you want, matey?
Miss Pearl would like to speak to you. Something about strange writings on her wall, but I didn't see anything. And asking if people went in her room last night. It's really all confusing, sir.
Cannonball's gonna just shake his head and roll his eyes, though nobody will see it, I guess, since the door is closed. And he's gonna just slam the door open, kind of look at the guy and say, "All right, get back to work, matey."
Yep, and it's a very exhausted looking Pym.
Get back to work, matey, before I keel haul ye myself, and don't ye dare make that same mistake twice.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. And he kind of salutes you and runs off down the hall.
Poor guy. All right, Cannonball will make his way to Pearl's room and knock on the door.
And as you're walking out, you see Pearl just fly out of her room and run topside.
Well, in that case, we're still gonna go to her room and just take a peek inside real quick. Not like, go in and start just like rummaging or anything, but just take a quick glance at the room to see if there's anything that screams abnormal or dangerous or problematic.
Go ahead and give me an investigation roll.
Flat 13.
I mean, aside from the personal decor that Pearl has chosen, there doesn't really seem to be anything that stands out to you.
Then we're gonna go and find Pearl.
Okay. While these chaotic shenanigans are going on, Jenka.
Yes.
Oh, how long did you spend working on the ship last night?
Well, the best part about being an elf was me to take a nap. And I'm completely rejuvenized. Oh, it's been forever since I've been an elf.
Cat nap and you're fine.
Probably, probably for a good long while.
Okay.
Yep, pretty much.
So
slept like a fish.
Did
Eyes
you
open and everything.
did you do your meditation and then go right back to repairing the ship, or was it you sort of waited till the last minute and you did your meditation, that way you would be up and about at first bell?
Yeah, she probably would be getting to it since she was up and about anyway, and probably sleep the last 4 hours of the early
Perfect.
morning. So by the time it was like sunrise, she would be up and about.
Okay. And remind me again, what
So a
is your
good chunk of
class?
it.
You're a blood hunter?
Blood hunter fighter.
Blood hunter fighter. Perfect.
I double dipped.
Yes, because a blood hunter has to be any stronger. Just add fighter onto it. Okay, so while you were working last night, in a little bit of the later hours, there was a moment that the ship was passing through a bit of choppy water when you could have sworn you heard whispers, like just sort of like passing you by, mentioning something about a path, about staying on the path. But it was very brief, almost as if like somebody had passed by you and they were talking to someone else and you just caught like partial conversation.
Lightly paranoid, she probably would have withdrawn her weapon just to kind of see if there was something nearby at first. And realizing nothing was really there, she's going to check a compass. I'm sure the ship would just have a generic compass to work with at least.
A
And
couple
see
of them.
which direction we are currently.
You are currently facing due north.
She's gonna go topside and go talk to the helmsman. And not fully trusting her gut, but knowing of the recent events of what happened just a few hours prior, she's gonna tell the helmsman, stay due north for now.
Is he
That's the course we're charting right now.
Yeah, they nod and say, that's the plan. We're due north for about another day before we're going to go about a little northwest.
Until it changes, for now, just keep north. I'll inform the captain.
Aye, aye. And he just continues on sailing the ship.
At this point, when it's really early in the morning, Jenka actually will go knock on the captain's quarters.
Okay.
At what point is this This is happening after I've been.
Is this after first bell, right?
Most likely, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so as like everyone
My
is
door's open then.
Yeah, getting up and getting ready and reporting for duty for first bell, you see Bryant standing outside of the captain's quarters, kind of looking around, kind of like looking at a pocket watch and then just waiting, and then the doors behind him fly open and Rory's there looking all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and he just kind of shakes his head and he walks on in and starts like setting up the plates and everything for the morning breakfast.
Good morning, Jenka. Come on in. I think we're about to get started with the officers' meeting. You want some coffee?
Oh, no, I'm good, thanks. But
Okay.
I don't
Well-
know if you've heard anything. Well, actually, no, you probably were passed out if you listened.
Heard what?
I think for now we should just go north. A voice. Something telling us to keep going north. Probably that compass that we acquired.
Did anyone else hear this voice?
I have not checked,
And
but I know what I heard.
as you guys are talking about this, you both see like Pearl in a blur run by you and just like start like really like frantically climbing, like scampering up the mast into the crow's nest, almost like knocking the like the poor sailor that's already up there out of the way as she starts like looking around frantically with the spyglass.
I message her. You hear a voice in your head. Pearl, what is going on with you this morning? Where's the fire?
Well, not a fire, but more problems with the compass. I just need to check. Oh, I just need to check and look around, and then I'll be right there.
Oh, okay. And I'll turn to Jenka. Pearl said something's up with the compass. Sounds like you're not the only one to maybe experience something weird last night.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And just curiosity, can I do a quick glance in her room and see if there is any exposed jewelry?
Yeah, what's your passive perception?
Not high. It's 13.
13. Yeah, you like the chest of jewels is still in sight. Like it didn't have a top to begin with. It was just pretty much they just threw it into one of the discarded chests that was brought up with the treasure.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's probably like little chain bits out the side. Is it closed? It just doesn't lock? Or...
There's no top.
No top?
No.
No way.
Jesus. Okay.
You pretty much got the bargain bin for the gems.
Okay. That is very clearly obvious. Do you want to try some
This
on?
does sound weird. Yes, actually.
Oh,
I
hold
can just
on.
borrow one for a moment.
There's a few pieces that I think would go so well with your coloring. Hold on.
Wait, what? No, no, that's no.
She holds up these like really pretty
don't do
turquoise
jewelry.
beads, like holds up these earrings, and they have like this blue opalescence to them, and oh, that would look just gorgeous. You should put them on.
I don't do jewelry. As you see, all her ear piercings and the one necklace. I don't really do jewelry.
Really? You don't do jewelry, miss? Mm?
I don't do flashy jewelry.
I mean, sure, not for every day, but I mean, it's still fun.
As opposed to what other day?
All right. What are you looking for?
What's your favorite piece?
What's my favorite piece? Ooh, to pick one.
And
Okay, fine. One of your favorites.
it's around this time that Cannonball, you're kind of like coming up top deck.
I think I'd pull out a fire opal. It's like a bracelet that has like a fire opal piece on it. It's like more of a silver bracelet.
Can I borrow that a moment? I'll give it back. Just need to see something.
Sure. I just thought it was really pretty. And it kind of changes color with the light, so it reminds me of me, you know, ever changing.
I'll have to test that in the light then. Thank you. I guess we'll do the meeting first before I pop off.
Yeah, I
Slightly
think-
repaired, by the way.
Wow, you worked.
What's the ship's current HP right now?
The ship's current HP is at
That's right, y'all got hit.
265. That's before her repairs.
All right, go ahead and give me 3d10, Jenka. This will be how many HP you've
okay.
been able to repair. You've been able to return to the ship.
I slaved away all night doing something I've never done before. Okay, let's see here. Oh shit, okay, we starting off good. Oh god. Oh shit, we starting off really good. Okay. Oh, okay, well there it is. Okay. 10, a 9, and a 1. So 20.
Okay, ship regains 20 HP.
Okay. So that means we are now at 285 of 300.
Oh dang.
Doing good.
I'm
Jenka,
getting
not
okay at
Jenka.
this.
Shara. You wake up in the crew quarters. Everything seems present and accounted for. Doesn't look like your little crab did any thieving during the night. So it's kind of like sitting on your chest with like its claws up in the air, like in an aggressive stance.
I kind of wake up and look down at it. What do you want? What's this posture?
And as you wave your hand, it kind of like clicks its claws together and tucks into the bag.
Oh, were you just saying good morning? I'm sorry, I'm not really a morning shark. You come with me for the day. I don't need you swiping anything yet.
Swiper, no swiping.
I'll scoop up the bag and just kind of take it with me, knowing that we have officers' meetings in the mornings now. That's going to be my destination, but first I'm going to just grab any crew member that isn't doing anything in particular, isn't on shift at the moment.
Okay.
Just kind of pull them aside. I need you to do some things for me, and do them quick.
I'm off duty, but what do you need?
I need you to set up a couple crates or barrels or something top deck right next to each other, so they're like a little table almost, and put a stool on either side of it, and gather anyone that isn't on shift or sleeping. And
Are we holding a sea quartz?
we're doing something. I need you to also track down Pim.
Oh, he's on duty right now. He's graciously taken the next 3 shifts of watch.
I'm sure that's very appreciated, but I need his presence top deck.
They will be top deck.
Appreciate it.
They head off to begin to assemble the mock jury or the mock courtroom up on the top deck. Cannonball, as you come up looking for Pearl, you can see her slowly climbing down the crow's nest.
Well, matey, what's got ye in a tizzy?
Well, when I woke up this morning, the walls of my room were completely covered, top to bottom, every inch, in squid ink that said, "Stay on the trail." So I assumed someone perhaps had gotten into my quarters. I called the night watch. They didn't see anything. I had them call you because I thought perhaps as a fellow spellcaster, you might see it. I went out. I went back into my room. It was gone. So And then I pulled out the compass and it was going crazy again. So I thought perhaps the last time this happened, it seemed to me that I saw what I thought was my mentor standing on the water. So I went up the crow's nest to see if I could see anybody or anything unusual yet again.
And did ye see anything?
Nothing. Just
But no.
open ocean.
Well, matey, I did take a gander at your room earlier and saw nothing myself. But there have been records, ye see, of certain spells sending messages to specific peoples. Might be something along those lines.
Well, perhaps. But I swear I didn't even have so much as one flask of honey mead. Nothing.
Look, matey, even if ye had, there's been enough weird things happening on this ship at this point. Well, let's just say that I'm starting to suspect things may not be as they seem.
Well, let's go to the meeting.
As ye say.
So she's going to straighten her coat, put her hat on straight.
Cannonball's following right behind her.
One by one, the rest of the group kind of shuffles in. Jenka, are you doing what I think you're doing with that gem or that bracelet?
Right now.
Okay, not right now. I just wanted to make sure.
Not until after the meeting.
Okay.
Rojan.
Okay. Just asking.
Yep. Yep. She definitely has one of those pouches on her belts, so she does kind of store it there for safekeeping. But yeah, no, she's waiting because she knows the meeting is happening soon. So yeah, nothing yet.
Rory is just nervously playing her lute while she's waiting for people because she's hearing weird things and is just a little uneased. So she starts just playing a song and singing some lyrics about people gathering together and waiting for the people to gather together.
And nothing weird happened.
Yep, people just gathered together and had a merry time.
So as everybody gathers in, there's already like a large spread of food on the captain's table, a few things of coffee and some like fruit juice, and then one bottle of rum for, you know, those of you who can't go a meal without alcohol. And as you all kind of sit down, Bryant takes the book out of his vest and he kind of tosses it over the pearl. Haven't been able to fully reconstruct it, but I got the first couple pages of the captain's entries taken care of. Doesn't look good. From what I gather, this was an intentional scuttling of the ship.
Intentional.
Yes.
What gave you that idea?
Says it in the journal itself. Ordered by one of the owners to make sure they were out far enough from sea and then scuttle the ship.
Weird.
Mentioning something about dropping cargo off at a exotic location beforehand, and then making sure that all those who witnessed it were present and accounted for than scuttling the ship,
Killing the crew with it?
sealing the fates of captain and crew. Yes.
That's dark.
Was this
Why
on the
would it-
captain's orders?
The captain is the one who, I assume, is the one who carried it out. Like I said, I've only gotten a few entries recovered so far, but from the looks of it, this was either the captain's doing or somebody on high that gave the captain the orders. But what happened to this ship is no accident or coincidence. This was intentional.
It's disturbing.
Very much
This
so.
was the sprocket, though.
Yes, the sprocket.
Which
Isn't that one of your ships?
well, I thought it was one of my grandfather's ships.
Have any
Oh.
other of your ships gone missing?
I've got the manifest, though. I can. Oh. I have the manifest. That'll tell us everything that was on the ship.
It'll tell you everything legal that was on the ship.
Yeah, I was about to
Well,
say.
it's a start, isn't it?
But
I mean,
answer
if
my
we're
question, Pearl. Did any other ships from your father's company go missing mysteriously? Or were lost out to sea, when there's no sign of storms or any real reason to? I mean, I know it's dangerous out here, but was there any, odd frequency, anything out of place that you noticed? Pattern?
Rojan, I'll defer
Your
to you here.
grandfather's shipping company has been meticulous. Like every now and then ships have gotten damaged or they've run behind. Very rarely is one ever lost at sea. And the Sprocket was one of those that was rumored to have been lost to piracy. They just ran afoul of some very heavily armed pirates, and the ship was either taken or sunk.
Okay, so I will convey all of that.
Okay. So
Um,
not a pattern then.
But we should be able to work out what the capacity of the ship was. And we have a list on the manifest of what we've got. And we should be able to work out how much that all weighed. So that might tell us whether it's a complete manifest or not. Maybe. But I mean, things are dropped on, taken off, and so on. I don't know. It's maybe a start.
We'll take a look and see if anything flags for you.
Okay, fair enough.
But you seemed very disturbed earlier. What set you off so badly?
Okay, I swear I wasn't drinking. Honestly. No honey mead, nothing. Honest. I really wasn't. Went to bed. I got up.
Insight check.
First bell. I look around. My entire room. The beautiful walls that Pitter and Patter had done for me. My entire room, my seashell collection, everything was covered in squid ink. Wet squid ink. And it honest, I don't think it was Cannonball. And it said,
Flowhead
stay on the
for the
trail
Cannonball.
over and over
Doing
and
all the
over and over and over again. I looked around, it was there. I called the night watch. They didn't see anybody coming or going.
What did it say again?
Stay on the trail.
I look at Janka.
And then the compass started to go crazy. So I had the night watch go get Cannonball because the night watch, when he went in, he didn't see anything, but he did look a little worn around
Hold
the
on,
edges.
Janka. Didn't you say you heard something? Was that the same thing?
Something whispered in my ear last night to stay on the trail.
That's creepy.
I don't like that.
That's the last entry in the journal so far.
Really? Same words?
Because
You were able to read it.
I was able to repair some of the pages so far. Pearl, may I see the
Really?
journal? Yes.
I give it back.
And he takes it and he opens it up and flips through to like the final journal entry. Let it be known that through all my life I have always stayed on the trail.
Pearl, is that the same handwriting you saw?
Do they match?
100%.
Yes. It looks the same.
All right, I've sang of ghost stories before, and this is stinking of it.
Ship's haunted.
Encountered ghosts before.
Oh god, the ship really is haunted.
Oh God! It's like you don't believe in ghosts, huh? You are being blurred.
We started a self-fulfilling prophecy.
There's something else that catches your eye, Pearl. The signature of the captain is signed Captain Venfer.
Oh. Now this is beyond strange.
What is?
Okay, so this is very weird. Venfer was my druid mentor. He lived in the wooded areas outside of the city. The name of which is not coming with me right now.
Tidelight.
Thank you, Tidelight. He was in the wooded area outside Tidelight with a druid circle. I would often wander out of the city when I was young, and I encountered him, and he became my mentor as I became interested in becoming a druid. I can't say as he was ever a captain that I was aware of. The last I heard of him, he had gone down the pier to go fishing one day, and he was standing on the pier fishing, and then the next thing we know, and rumor has it, that he was swept off the pier by a kraken, which, I mean, that to me is rather terrifying, because there's not that many krakens, and that's not something you're going to recover from usually. I mean, he was a very good druid, though. Who knows? But
That's how he passed.
well, that's what I thought. But yet, I thought I saw him standing on the water. We go down to that shipwreck. The captain's quarters are intact. If the captain went down with the ship, the captain should have been in the captain's quarters. The captain wasn't there, was he? There was nobody in the captain's quarters.
Actually, I don't know if this is relevant or not. But when we were there, Pearl, and we found the book and the little crab guy, and you left, I thought, hey, great opportunity to loot a captain's quarters. So I stayed back for a minute, and I went to look inside of the footlocker that was there. It exploded. So I don't know if that's like common practice among your company to have exploding footlockers, but clearly there was something in there.
It happened to you again?
Again, yeah. I just left.
You checked the captain's quarters without realizing it was booby trapped because, it's the captain's quarters.
Pearl, you would know that would be completely against regulation for any ship in your grandfather's fleet, as it would be considered destruction of company property.
I will convey that information, sort of doing the righteous indignation about, my grandfather's company wouldn't do anything like this, and everything was above board, and you weren't allowed to, theoretically, you weren't allowed to have any kind of contraband or anything that wasn't totally
Well,
Oh, sure,
legal.
if they had nothing to hide at the time.
clearly this particular vessel was up to something that is a bit different than the normal for your company. Either there's a shady side to your company you are not aware of, which honestly wouldn't surprise me, or someone was using one of your vessels to their own ends. And about Ventress, it sounds like they wanted to disappear. Probably helped perpetrate that rumor. People do live double lives quite frequently. You might not have known fully who he was.
Possibly. But as I say, as far as I know, he was not one of my grandfather's captains. And if truth be known, my grandfather was really kind of partial to having gnomish captains. It was a thing, it was a gnomish company, and
That's a bit.
most of the ships that I was aware of,
Yeah.
all the captains were gnomes. Vanfer was an elf. He wasn't even a gnome. So it strikes me as odd, unless he could shapeshift to look like a different captain. But unless there was things going on in the company I wasn't aware of. I mean, I spent a lot of my time as a purser on actually the Spartacus.
Well, clearly
So
it doesn't sound like the norm, but clearly nothing about this vessel was normal. So there's a lot of unknowns there. You have to kind of take what you once knew and use that information, but open your mind up to the possibilities of more. Just because something always has been a certain way doesn't mean it always will be, or always was.
but the Vanfer I thought I knew, was fairly scrupulous, so I have to wonder if perhaps this wasn't an attempt to work for the greater good in some way. And,
Maybe.
you know,
I don't see how letting a whole crew of people die when they didn't need to could be a part of any greater good. But
I really would like to read the rest of this captain's log when it's dried out.
Well, I should, if everything goes according to plan and we don't have any hiccups, I should have the rest of the journal done by day's end. For those curious, I'm sort of modifying the mending spell, giving a little more oomph to sort of rewind time around the journal itself before it became waterlogged and destroyed. It's a little trick that Mama Plum showed me, something little fey twist to the arcane. Those who know how to do it can pretty much repair anything that's been destroyed, and not just on the physical level. But I'll have that to you, Pearl, as soon as possible.
Well, perhaps the captain and I and some of the others should be going through it together. And we can bring the manifest into and try to put as many pieces together as we can. That little crab is turning out to be quite handy, Shara.
As you say that, you see the little bag and the crab kind of crawl up onto the table, and it like takes it grabs like a piece of bacon and just starts eating it.
okay, that's fine. Keep it away from anything else in here.
But I mean, it had the manifest. So
it was just trying to help us this whole time.
well, I'm kind
don't
of
believe
almost
that.
thinking perhaps maybe it's tied into this whole thing. I mean, it was sitting beside that book, wasn't it?
It's a magic crab. But it's still a crab. It's just a crab. It just lives.
I'm sorry. It's already been a long
Wait,
day.
that thing is magic?
It walks
Yeah.
over. It walks over to like a little saucer spoon, and it kind of it
I
just like
that spoon.
it clips the spoon, and Jenka, you see the spoon just kind of gets sucked into the bag
Damn it. Control your crab, Shara.
as it kind of it just like scuttles away and grabs like another piece of bacon and runs and sits right next to Shara's plate and just starts eating it, kind of like looking at you and looking at Shara.
Don't you try to look
Food.
cute.
Food only. No more stealing the silverware.
Oh,
Watch your valuables around that one, basically. And everything. Just
Since-
everything.
since I can commun- since
You
I can
try to talk to the crab.
communicate with sea creatures.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be like,
You can. It is just pretty much a straight up
steal
hermit
things?
crab that has been imbued with some sort of arcane property that lets it exist in a bag of holding.
huh? Do you just like to steal things, little guy?
I don't steal. I acquire.
Help, then.
Oh, I acquire
yes.
shinies. Shinies for the inside of the bag. It sparkles in there. It makes it less dark.
We have something in common. But I'm not afraid of the dark. Do you want a light on in there?
I have lights, yes, and coins and other shiny things, and a frozen person. I think it's frozen. It doesn't move.
A person, you say?
Hmm.
Can you pull it out for me, by chance? Can I take a look? It's probably getting in the way of all your shinies.
And you want to see the frozen person?
If you don't mind.
Give me a perception roll. No, not a perception, persuasion roll.
Fuck me. Okay.
I would give you Bardic, but I have no idea what you're doing right now. I just
can
hear you
cast
talking
No,
in
it's fine. No
weird,
one, yeah,
going,
no one can understand.
little crab language.
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of like bubbling and like kind of snipping its claws.
What about Zoidberg?
Giving you a
Okay,
weird look.
I rolled pretty decent. It's a 17 for a 16.
It's like, well, if Mother agrees, then yes, I can get the frozen person.
I look over at Shara for a moment, and I'm like, is that?
Yes, that is Mother.
Ah, well, let's ask, shall we? As I turn to Shara and I go, Shara, do you mind if this little one pulls out a unique object from the bag? Does it have your permission? It's asking.
Sure.
Are you really talking to that crab right now?
Why is
Did
that
you-
so unusual?
Did you get into the rum already?
No, I don't drink first thing in the morning. Chip
Oh,
duties.
you're missing
then
out.
drink. It's a reward for myself. It's a reward system for myself. But she goes back to the little crab and she goes, "Oh, you saw her. She said yes."
Well, okay, and it kind of scuttles off the table and down the legs until like it has like enough room in the quarters, and it sort of tucks into the bag for probably about a good 30 seconds, and then with like just this venting of air and just a loud thunk, this statue of a gnome, kind of like frozen in like a terrified position, is now laying on the floor of the captain's quarters. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and take a quick break.
Oh,
So we can
Lord.
get up and we can stretch our legs, refresh our drinks, and all that fun stuff. But stick with us, everybody.
Pearl's pouring herself her 5th cup of coffee.
We will be
Jenkin
right,
just goes,
right
that
back.
body in common.
And we are back.
Hello.
Hello. So as we pick up, this statue of this terrified gnome doesn't look like an average like artistic bust. It's kind of, there's no base, there's no balance to it or anything. Kind of just like stumbles and is just like laying awkwardly on the floor. And it depicts a gnome obviously in a like sailor's small clothes, sort of caught off guard and very terrified expression on its face. It's like hands like sort of up, trying to like shield itself from something. The little crab comes out of the bag and kind of scuttles back up and grabs the bacon and starts eating it again.
Did you ask
That
the
body
crab?
you meant.
The crab talk to you about a body?
Well, the crab is says it's very cozy inside the. I'm so sorry. What's the crab's name again? I don't want to be rude to it.
It doesn't have one. It's a crab.
She looks down at the crab. She's like, "I'm sorry, sweetie. What is your name?"
Oh, Pinches. No, that's what
Pinches.
that's what my last mother called me.
And who is your last mother?
Short person, like, and kind of motions over, like snipping a claw at Pearl, like her.
Looked exactly like her, or just a short person like her?
Just small person.
Small person. It's not that person, is it? As I gesture to the statue.
I found him in a box.
On the ship that you were on.
Under the big bed.
Jenka, we don't understand crab.
Yeah,
theory.
it's like Jenka's having a conversation and the crab is just burbling at her.
Mama's working.
The crab is like burbling at her and shoving bacon into its mouth.
Please share with the class.
Right. Well, this thing was apparently under the captain's bed. It's
Thank you.
Pinchers, by the way, is the crab's name. You will address it as such. And it was telling me that its master was someone like her. So I point to Pearl.
So a gnome.
Though it was not this person.
But not that stone gnome. Wait, do we think
No,
this is
not
like
this one, although it was under the captain's bed.
okay? Is it an actual It's a very realistic looking statue, but do we think this might not
I'm
be
gonna go
just
off.
a statue?
May not know art very well, but I'm gonna flat out and say that there are plenty of things out there that can petrify, and how this looks. Someone thought
Yeah.
it'd be really clever as a garden gnome. No offense. To Pearl, like no offense. Or, was petrified. And actually, totally forgot, new character who dis. As a blood hunter, can I kind of make a list of what possibly could have done this?
Give me an Arcana roll.
Observing the body as far as petrification.
If you are actually going to take a look at this body,
Yes.
give me a medicine check first.
Okay. Well, medicine check first. All right.
What's a garden gnome,
okay.
Jenka?
Yeah, Jacob, what's a garden gnome?
It's these creepy creatures with big beards and red pointy hats that apparently are decoration for people's lawns. 18 for medicine.
18 for medicine.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
Looking at this statue, this is either a petrified body or somebody is well beyond the times in regards to sculpture. There are intricacies on here that would be painstaking for anybody to be able to do.
With that, I'll continue to investigate it and see if it is in fact petrification.
And you start running through the list in your head of like things that could easily petrify people, and you come across things like basilisks and the mist from one of like the mechanical gorgons, a creature like a Medusa or a cockatrice have the exact same effect on people.
Well, either someone had a creative vision that is far beyond this time. Oh, this is in fact a petrified person. Though I don't have the skill or the ability to undo this, but I have chances are pretty high it could be petrification. Just a hunch, though.
Well, we should maybe just put it back in the bag then. It might be safest in there until we can find someone or something that can fix petrification, right?
Oh, you don't think it would look lovely in your office?
No.
A gnome like recoiling in terror. Yeah, that's a perfect centerpiece for the table.
It's not very tasteful.
Your loss. And I will help put it back in. The crab was so nice to pull it out for me that I will put it back in the bag for it.
Is it kind of just like pinches? It kind of pinches like
Here's
the
now,
bottom part of the toe, and it kind of just sucks it all back in.
So disturbing.
I will pat the little hermit crab because of course it's so tiny. Just pat it with my finger and go like, I really appreciate your assistance. Thank you very much.
kind of just like gives you like a little click of its claws. It just goes back to eating the bacon.
Mm. All right, so we've got a couple of strange things happening. We'll keep all this in mind.
See, something to hide.
True, definitely. If it was found underneath the captain's bed, it's quite disturbing. Well, on the matters I can control, money. We've got quite a bit of it. I was trying to figure out what we would think a fair share for the crew would be. Any ideas? I figured it out to... My starting idea is 5%, and then splitting whatever the remainder is among us officers. That would equal we've got about 5,000 of just straight gold. And then there's some mismatch of foreign currency. They estimated it about 1,200, but I bet I could probably get more if it's unique, or I can sell it as unique and special, so put that on reserve. And then there's a bunch of gems and jewelry that could be pawned, but in straight up cash, we've got 5,000. If we were to split that with the crew, 5%, that'd be 250 per crew member, and then the rest split.
Oh, thank
to
God you
us.
mathed for me. Thank God.
I did, yes. I mathed
Oh,
it out because
God.
I'm the captain. I take my job
brain
seriously.
was gonna hurt there for a second.
So it's
Thank
about
you. Thank you. Oh God, that hurt.
250 per crew member at that rate, and then the rest, which is about half. It equals about half. 2,500 for the crew, split between them. 250 per crew member, and then that leaves the rest for us. Split between the 7 of us is, I'm counting Bryant in that, about 357 per person. One person will get 358. I'll take the extra gold as captain if no one else wants it.
You've put a lot of thought into this, Captain, and I don't mean to just throw all your work overboard, but before dividing up the gold, perhaps some should be set aside for restocking the ship and repairs that are needed when we get into port and all of that. So perhaps we should put some of that aside first, and then with the remainder, decide who gets what.
Certainly, that's an idea. I appreciate that. Like I said, we also do have all this extra currency and gems and jewelry to sell as well, but you're right. Setting aside something of the hard, maybe a percentage of our cash on hand that we earn, isn't a bad idea.
Can I see that extra gold coin, please?
The extra currency? Yeah,
the extra coin.
What are you talking about?
Because you said everyone gets an equal amount except one person will have one extra coin.
That's just how it maths out. It's not an even number,
Exactly.
7.
Can I see the one extra coin, please?
You know, you're a very strange woman, Jenka. Let me just put that out there. And Rory will just
I've been
motion
told
to the
worse.
chest with all the gold in it. It's that one over there. Help yourself.
Don't know about ye, matey, but she seems perfectly normal to me.
But we don't know exactly if that will be an extra coin now that we're discussing a separate fund. How much do we want to set aside for
Maybe
for repairs and whatnot?
Well, I've only served aboard like fishing vessels, so I don't really know what the costs for a ship this big are. Those of you that have more experience on vessels this size, what are like repairs and docking fees and shit usually cost?
I defer to my crew. Pearl, Cannonball?
Well, what are the wages we have to pay the crew that we have?
Well, we figure that out after we decide how much we want to put aside for ship maintenance.
Yeah, what percentage of our booty should we put aside for ship maintenance?
Well, don't know if ye all remember, but I do have it right here. Ammunition alone cost us a pretty penny.
So 10% or another just 5%. That seems kind of low, 250, but 10% would be like 500 gold of the 5,000.
I'm just saying, matey, ammunition alone, when we fully stocked up, cost us in the 400s.
Let's say 10%. Yeah?
What's 10%?
10%
I
would
think,
be 500
and
gold.
we got a deal on that ammunition too. If we can get that amount of ammunition for that price again, we'll be lucky.
Just saying 10% of every major find that we have, we could set aside for ship repairs. This is just starting the fund.
Not to mention upgrades, matey.
We need to pay the crew.
Find
do.
that too.
So
While they're talking about this, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I will grab that just one coin, just one, and I'm gonna bring it back and I'm gonna hold it up to Pinchers.
It just, in a flash, just reaches over and pinches the coin, and it gets sucked into the bag.
You don't understand how much gold that crab has already taken for himself.
It doesn't matter, but for his troubles and for helping us, he was very kind. It's for his collection.
Oh, is this like an animal training thing? Okay. Yeah, I was not very good at that. I'll defer to your judgment.
Wait, are we training animals?
Well, wasn't that what you were doing? Some sort of like reward system?
No, I have my own reward system for me. I don't do that to animals. Animals are free to do whatever they want.
You just gave the crab
rewarding it
a
for
coin for
helping us.
say that's exactly what I'm talking about. We're saying the same thing.
I don't. Yeah, but it's not a reward system. It's just a reward for its help.
That's how you train animals, right? Like you like, good job, here's a carrot. Keep doing that thing you did.
So what you're saying is you're paying it for being on the crew.
Please tell me you're not trying to give the crab a wage.
Well, I mean, she kind of did.
What? No. I'm not giving a crap. I think you guys are kind of blowing this out of proportion. I was rewarding it for being kind and feeding me this information, and it said it had a lovely collection.
Rewarding something for service rendered is the very definition of a wage, matey.
Or
training an animal.
You know, just
Well,
helping, or just saying thanks.
if you look at it, we don't really have a ship mascot yet, and it just seems to be a big help.
No. No.
Maybe we put
No offense, little guy. No.
Maybe we put a giant duffel crab on the sails.
Is it bad that I kind of like that idea?
You know how I say thank ye to this crab? I don't boil it for dinner.
Anyway, back to the money issue.
So, I was thinking, we kind of had the same idea, Captain, about dishing this stuff out, but I was thinking in shares rather than percentages, because percentages is a lot of math that I really don't want to do. So I was thinking 1 share per crew member, 2 shares per officer, 3 shares for the captain. So if we put away, say, 1,000 gold for ship maintenance, that would leave us 4,000. So that would be, we'd have to divide that by 25, because that's all the shares added up, right? In those divisions, the crew gets 1 each, the officers get 2 each, the captain gets 3.
This is easier than percentages. How
A lot
exactly?
easier than percentages.
Night Tide, thank you for that raid.
Okay.
So 4,000 divided by 25 is 160. Each crew member gets 160 gold. Each officer gets 160 times 2. Captain gets
Got it.
160 times 3.
Before we divide this up, we've talked a little bit about the ship maintenance. Does that include ammunition and the stocking of the larder, the galley? Because according to my records, and Pearl pulls out this list, it's 500 gold pieces a month for food with our current crew.
I imagine that would be included in that. Yeah, I mean, we made this in what? A day? We could make a lot more in a month.
Oh, okay, Shara. I just want you to kind of hold your expectations in check for a moment because we got kind of lucky with this. I mean, a magic fucking compass led us to it, so there's that.
But we also learned something. That wreckage was the wreckage of a trade ship, right?
Uh-huh.
A company ship.
Uh-huh.
My grandfather's company.
Right, yeah, a familiar company ship. And it was loaded. So I'm thinking maybe we come across some more trade wreckages that are just as loaded.
That would be ideal, yes, but and she motions to this expanse of blank ocean. It's sometimes hard to find.
Sometimes, well, yeah, hard to find if you're like just looking for wreckages. But rather than look for wreckages, you could look for ships that are about to be a wreckage.
Are you trying to hint at piracy,
No,
Shara?
I would never. What I'm hinting at is we find the
Ears perk up.
pirates,
What?
let them do the dirty work, then we swoop in.
So instead of
Why
rescuing the
don't we do
trade
the
ship,
dirty work?
But we have what, like 2 cannons? We can't fight off pirates.
that is true. We do much better after the pirates took some fire themselves.
Right. We aren't doing the illegal activity. We're just honest salvagers.
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm just gonna stay out of this. I'm stepping back.
It's probably best to do so. We'll keep an eye out, Shara. That's a good point. I do like your point about the shares. However, I don't think I need. I mean, we all are fairly equal owners in this ship. I don't feel right taking 3 shares for myself.
Captain always gets more shares.
And in case you haven't noticed, matey, we have more than 2 cannons.
I can put one of my shares towards the things we need for the ship. That's fine. Oh, any other ideas, or just do we like Shara's idea? All right.
About piracy, I'm totally for it.
Okay, we'll have to
I'm
take
good with
the
it
vote
too,
on
matey.
that one.
Easy
But
money.
if we see an opportunity,
Yeah, easy money.
you know,
Do
we'll
you
see.
know?
I mean, I don't really want to murder people.
I just want to be
Who
like
says
super
there's murder?
clear. I wasn't saying we become pirates. I was just saying we capitalize on the already existing pirates in the world.
I'm all for
Wait,
that.
why do you have to be? Why do you have to murder to be pirates?
I mean,
Okay.
generally, that's part of the job description.
Just thieves, then. All right. We could.
It's just
Can we
common
just
misconception, Shara.
let's just put a pin in that. All right, I need the breakdown again. What was it? It's like, so you said, what was the share for the ship?
If we put 1,000 gold aside for the
Okay,
ship,
just 1,000 gold aside,
Yeah,
period. Okay,
that would leave 4,000 left.
got it.
And that would make each share 160.
Okay,
Basic crew gets 1 share. Officers get 2 shares. Captain gets 3 shares. So with the crew that we have and the shares divided that way, currently that would be 25 shares total. So anytime we get bounty, we just divide it by 25, and that's how much a single share is worth.
Okay. Got it. That makes sense. Divided by 25. All right.
Yeah, and as our crew numbers increase, the number of shares we have to divide it by will increase as well.
So is that's in addition to wages, though, right? Or no?
No,
Or
that is
wages.
wages.
This is
Oh, that is
wages,
wage.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they
All
make
right.
money off of what we bring in. So
Okay.
together as a crew. Pearl, you're probably good with money, right? Do you want to divvy out the crew's shares and
I could. Cannonball seemed to be very on top of that yesterday, though. Perhaps for morale purposes, he might like to do it and hand it out. What say you, Cannonball?
Sure, matey. Tis not a problem.
all right. Rory just he weirds her out. He just weirds her out, so she doesn't go to him immediately. He just straight
Tentacle
up gives
forehead.
her the willies.
Just every now and then, like a tentacle kind of
Yeah.
slipping out from the hat and going back in.
Just can't. just she's just like still making eye contact with Pearl and goes, "Okay, yeah, that's fine, sure. All right, Cannonball, you're on that then."
And if Cannonball, we can do it together if you want me to, sort it out and you distribute it.
Sure, matey. I could use an extra brain to count.
That way we're cross-checking, I would say, which is always good.
As this is happening, a knock comes to like the open door of the captain's quarters, and Shara, the crew member that you had tasked to build your like table and stuff out on the deck, is like, sorry to interrupt, but Shara, it's all set up. Him is waiting.
Perfect. I'll be there after this meeting, so
We'll make sure he doesn't go anywhere.
you do that.
Neat.
Are you putting on a show, Shara?
You could call it that, I suppose. We all saw how Pim fucked up yesterday,
okay.
right?
Blew it.
So, I'm not, don't worry, I'm not gonna like flog the guy or anything. I'm just gonna make sure he is a little more considerate of the ship next time.
Would you like some ominous drum music in the background?
Couldn't hurt.
As Bryant kind of shakes his head, don't go too hard on the kid. He's barely even a man as it is. He 18. He's new at this.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
I
only
know.
here because I pulled his ass out of the fire, and he wanted to pay me back. So he thought he'd get a little experience on the sea.
Well, clearly he hasn't learned his lesson. If you had to pull his ass out of the fire once, and he's still messing up, maybe this would be good for him.
Just go easy on him.
I will. I understand it was an honest mistake. Look, the first time I went out on a fishing boat, I lost their fishing nets and 2 of their fishing rods. It happens. But he did
Learning
fuck
experience.
up and
Learning
he damaged the ship.
experience.
So, we gotta make a little bit of a show of it here.
From what I gather, the crew's kind
And
of
you say we're not pirates.
the crew's kind of given him their punishment as well. He's serving a triple shift for watch duty. So
Take
Right.
that into account.
Actually, I wanted to run that by you guys rather than just making the call myself. After this little show that I'm arranging, I was thinking we just send him down to the crew cabins, leave him there for a day or 2. The triple shift, great idea and all, but we really don't need somebody that's dead tired on something as important as night watch.
Yeah, I was kind
I
of thinking
agree.
that as well. But I love the initiative the crew took.
Agreed.
Well, is there any other matters we need to attend to? Or, I mean, each of us officers feel free to take your shares. Rory will motion to the chest of the standard gold.
Before I take anything, how much did I owe you? What's my debt?
Well,
I didn't write it down.
you owe me some as well. Let me see. That would be... I did write it down here somewhere. Alright, Cannonball Pearl, mirror. I will figure that out and get back to you.
All right.
I have that somewhere.
Well, if we're all finished up here, then I'm gonna go speak with Pim.
I wish I could play the People's Court music for this, but I can't.
Rory's gonna
right?
follow with like just an ominous, like just drum beat, just sort of like almost like an executioner's. Like,
Real quick before we go out there and scare the shit out of this kid, do you have like an empty bottle or like a glass or something around here I could borrow?
Rory just motions to her the side of the bed.
It's just like empty rum bottles and empty wine
Vera
bottles.
2.0? Vera 2.0?
No, I am not gonna kill this poor kid by throwing a bottle at his head, but I will grab an empty bottle.
There's a wine bottle, yeah, by her bed, and a wine glass.
And maybe if there's like a handkerchief or a cloth napkin or something, I'll grab that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be easy to find in my quarters as well.
You also have napkins on the table from like the breakfast, so.
Perfect. I am going to wander over to the little setup there.
Okay. And pretty much the crew itself is all present and accounted for, as this is a disciplinary hearing. The ship itself has been anchored and everything, so everybody's safe for one person. The one person who isn't there is the one in the crow's nest, keeping an eye out just in case anything comes your way. But as you walk out of the captain's quarters and down onto the main deck, the 8 crew members that are present are in like a little spread out semicircle. Pim is standing in the center, kind of like looking around a little worried, and there is just like a very makeshift table with a couple, planks of wood and the barrels and a chair for you, Shara.
Okay. I'm gonna walk over to the makeshift table, not making eye contact with Pim or anything, not saying anything or addressing anyone. And I'm gonna grab the chair and put it on the other side of the table. Then I'm gonna go back to the chairless side and just kind of get down on one knee, so I'm at the height that I would be if I was sitting in a chair. And then I'll look over at Pim and motion to the chair. Have a seat.
He kind of like looks around and very hesitantly comes close to the chair and slowly sits down.
I'll put the wine bottle down just on one side of the makeshift table here, and I'll look over at Pim. Now, I'd ask you what you did, but we all saw it, Pim. We were all there. Jenka had to fix it for you. She's still working on it, Pim. Do you realize what you did?
Sorry, I had to find the drum music.
Yay!
It's too funny.
I got a little overexcited. It was my first time on the helm. I am truly sorry for what happened.
And what happened, Pim? What happened?
I fucked up.
Yeah, you did. You hurt the ship, Pim. And you know what that means? It means you hurt the crew.
And Pim's just like not looking at you, just kind of nodding his head. I know I let everyone down.
You did, Pim. And I trust that it won't happen again. I believe that you'll be a lot more careful next time.
Oh,
Pim, if there is a next time.
Yes, ma'am. Be sure if you decide not to execute me, that nothing like this will happen again.
Well, it is your first infraction, so I'm not going to be removing your head or throwing you overboard or anything. But, Pim, we can't just let this slide.
Yes, the crew has made it very clear. As he tries to fight it back, but he gives like a very open mouth yawn. They've made it clear that I'm to work triple shifts for watch.
You know what they were doing when they gave you that triple shift, Pim? They were trying to help you. They were trying to give you a chance to redeem yourself. But Pim, you're exhausted. And we don't need you to fuck up again.
Oh, don't worry, man. I plan on drinking at least 2 pots of coffee tonight.
No, Pim. After this is over, you're gonna go down to the crew quarters and you're just gonna stay there for a couple days, out of everyone's way. Let everyone else get on with their jobs so they don't fuck things up. But you do need to be punished, Pim. I'll turn the wine bottle over on its side and cover it with the cloth napkin. Now, Pim, since this is your first infraction, I'm going to give you an opportunity to redeem yourself, in a way. I'm going to take my axe, I'm going to take the flat side of it and smash the wine bottle, and then pull the cloth napkin off of it. All you got to do, Pim, I'm gonna put my arm up on the table, is beat me. You beat me, your hand doesn't go in the glass, you're fine.
Beat you at arm wrestling.
That's right, Pim.
He kind of thinks about it. Kind of like looks at you for a moment, like just like looking you over and kind of running the odds in his head. Well, if you say so.
I do, Pim. Either way, when we step away from this table, we're done. Whether you get hurt or not, that's the end of it. We all move on with our lives, get on with our tasks and our jobs, and you rest down in the crew quarters. Okay, we're not going to hold this against you, but this is your opportunity to show the crew that you care enough about this ship, that you're willing to give it everything you've got right here and now.
Everything I got, ma'am.
Everything you've got, Pim.
No holding back.
No holding back.
Can I do something real quick?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna kind of turn off to the I'm drumming, so you probably can't hear me, but I'm gonna whisper a message spell to Shara, and I'm just gonna say, "Are you seriously gonna cut this boy's hand?" Like, nod yes, or
And as you say that, you see that Pim takes out a dagger and slices his hand and begins to run the blood down his forearm as he begins to chant. Does anyone here speak ogre?
Oh no, not me. No.
And as the blood begins to like run over his forearm, you see it kind of like begin to like contort and bulk up as the rest of his body begins to do the same thing. And in like a moment, what was once this meek young man is now this like hulking mass of just pure muscle.
Never mind. Proceed.
Almost like eye level with Shara. As you
Good
could see, like the blonde, like the messy blonde hair that was on his head has all like but receded away, and there's just like these runic tattoos across his forehead, and it goes down and around his neck. It just like covers like every inch of his body, and he just slams his arm down onto the table.
And Shar kind of looks back briefly at Rory after hearing that message, and then the quick retraction of the message, and she just smiles, big toothy smile, and get some of the glass that was just on the side that Pim's hand would have gone, and she pushes some of it over to her side as well, and then she gets ready for the arm wrestle.
Okay. And so your hands lock in together. So this is just going to be a straight up strength contest. Actually, no, it would be an athletics contest because this is technically an athletics, like an athletic event. So we'll go ahead and make an athletics here.
All right, I'm starting off strong with, I'm proficient, good. That's going to be a 23.
Real quick, to increase morale, I'm going to start taking bids and acting as a broker for some of the crew if anyone wants to take bids on this.
Oh, and like it's like split down the line like 50-50. So you got a 23?
Yep.
So you two lock into combat and you are dead even, like you are fighting back and forth. Like it looks like his hand is about to hit the glass, and like there's just this burst of like power as he puts your hand like an inch away from the glass, and you guys come back up to like a stalemate as he tied you.
Another round of bets, another round of bets.
Okay, that one is slightly lower, with a 21.
21. Going back and forth, and you see Shara for just a moment, like your arm sort of like twinges a little bit, and at that moment he slams your hand down into the glass. But as soon as it does that, you see all of that bulk slowly just shriveling back and changing into that meek young man as he passes out.
Oh. We have a winner.
Was there a question mark at the end of that?
Rory pays out the winners, from the bet. Okay, let's get this young man back down, cleaned up and downstairs.
Yeah, I got him. I'll carry him down.
Let's clean up his hand first.
I think I need to clean up my hand first.
Oh, yeah, come here.
I just kind of brushed the glass out of my hand.
Yeah, it did
That's
like 1 point of damage. It wasn't really that much.
Right.
Like,
Does the boy look okay?
He looks straight up exhausted.
Okay.
It looks like he may have pushed it a little too far.
I'll kind of scoop him up, but before I head down, I'll kind of look back at all the crew that's standing there. Let nobody doubt this kid's dedication. I mean, come on. He just beat me in an arm wrestle. He's young, he's inexperienced, but he'll serve this crew well.
He's young, he's inexperienced, he's a total dumbass, but apparently he can transform into a house.
Exactly. Then I'll carry him down to the quarters and lay him down.
All right, everyone, stop lying about. Get to work.
as I lay him down in one of the hammocks, I know he's unconscious, so he can't hear me. But I'll look at him and I'll kind of like point my finger at him, like, I expected to beat you, but I was gonna hold your hand away from that glass when I did, little bastard. Then I'd go back top deck.
Look, you told him to go all out.
Didn't expect him to turn into an ogre, but I'm not complaining.
Mm-mm.
Turn the
I think
drums off here.
yeah, we divvy out the coin just because I want to deal with that.
Yeah,
So the coin gets, hopefully Cannonball and Pearl will take care of the crew, and everyone, all the officers take their gold. So everybody take your 320 out. I'm going to add to the ship's inventory that it has 1,000 gold set aside specifically for repairs. And yeah, I guess I'll take 3 shares. It feels dirty. I don't
You're the
like it.
captain.
I don't like it. I'll pay for some stuff later on then. Okay. So that way we can add that to our own inventories and get that taken care of. Everybody add that shit to your inventories.
Take your payments.
It may be buying groceries, Shara, or Rory. Depends. I'm just not.
I'll cover what I
Well,
need
I
to.
guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, anything that's for the crew, I think, comes out of the ship funds first, and then we can tack on more if we need it. I'll square up my debts before I take any gold for myself.
You got my message? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Groovy. All right, and then so right now we still have a case of random jewels and gems as well. If anyone needs any spell components, let us know. Although that might not be till higher levels. But we'll keep that on hand for now. And then when we get into port, Rory basically says she's gonna try to upsell the foreign currency. We'll see what we can get for that later.
Yep. So
Continue on our path, our set path towards. I tell the helmsman to continue on our path to. Fuck, what was it called?
You're going to Echo Bay, right?
Thank you, Echo Bay. Yeah, we're gonna continue on that path.
Okay. So, I think at this point in time, I will say that we can fast forward a couple days as travel out on the sea.
I want to do something real
Okay,
quick.
go ahead.
After the fight, I want to go to my quarters and take out the piece of jewelry that
Yes.
Rory gave me.
Okay.
Yeah. And gonna place it on the floor. She's just gonna kind of just sit on the floor right now. And she's going to pull out her new music box. And she is going to see the little ballerina dancer in the center.
The little tiefling ballerina.
And the little tiefling ballerina. And she's going to place the jewelry inside, make sure it's all kind of laid out so it doesn't interfere with the mechanics of the ballerina. She's going to close the lid on top, and she's going to start turning the little crane, the key. There we go, the key on the back, and let it play.
Okay. Can you actually? I'll roll since this is
Oh no.
Ooh. Okay. Give me a number 1 through 4.
You know what? I'll let Dice decide. Let's see here. Uh,
4?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So, as the music plays, it's not a pleasing melody to hear. It's very haunting. At some points in time, like as it's playing, you can feel like the room around you sort of heating up a little bit, and like the smell of sulfur kind of invades your room until the music is done, and then it's like all of the heat is just sucked out and your room is freezing cold.
Cold never bothered me anyway.
But god damn it. And as you open the box, that piece of jewelry that Rory gave you is glowing a soft orangish red color.
Oh, she's got high intelligence. She's putting 2 and 2 together. Okay. Yeah. Okay. She's gonna pick it up and admire it a moment. Did she happen to recognize that melody that was being played?
No, this just seems to be like some random melody that whoever designed this music box just designed it to play.
Yeah, creepy. Okay. She will make her way back to Rory and kind of display the piece of jewelry between her fingers, kind of showing off the glow. She's like, I'll give this back. However, there are a couple things you need to know. One, of course, is a fact, and the other is me just theorizing. This is enchanted? Question mark?
Did
I
you
don't know what it
enchant
does.
it? It wasn't enchanted before.
No, not me. An experiment, if you will. But it only lasts 24 hours. But I have a sneaky suspicion, a theory that perhaps something related to fire or heat might be imbued in this. But I don't know what it does or what activates it. All I know is that it will last for 24 hours before the effect is gone, and it's just jewelry once more.
Interesting. What if you didn't enchant it, then what did? Or who did? Is a crew member with a special talent I didn't know about? Because I need that on my list.
I picked up something fun from that little lost and found area back at the island with the shit, I forgot their names. The possum people.
Back at the parsnip scrapyard.
And Mama Plums.
Thank you, Parsnips. Parsnips, thank you. Yes, I know all of you were distracted by the painting and everything. I kind of wandered off on my own, and this was one of the things I found in there. So, again, I don't know what it does. But from what effects did occur, I have a suspicion that it's heat or fire related. But I don't know what it will do. So proceed with caution if you choose to test it. If not, the effects will just wear off in 24 hours.
Thank you. I guess. That's pretty cool. I'm glad you found something interesting at Mama Plums.
Yes, but don't get too excited. From what I have been able to research with this thing, it could be something good. Not. So proceed with caution. I'm not sure.
There's a lot of things at Mama Plums that are partially good and partially not.
Oh, there you go. That's what this is.
Got it. Well, thank you. I'm very curious, honestly.
And it's very comfortable to touch. It's like very warm and very pleasant.
I put it on. It's sort of like those bracelet types that are like a thicker band
Yep.
of silver with like the opal in the center. So it's like a little brace.
So as you put it on, just a quick like ring of flame runs like every inch of your body. And as it does this, Jenka, you can see like right as the ring of fire sort of passes over a part of Rory's body, you can see like the outline of the skeletal structure of her body just for a brief second until it goes like does its full run through.
My Ghost Rider? What the hell?
Oh my god, yes.
And then as you stand there, you feel a bit of power that you didn't have before, sort of just resting in you. Something that's both extremely hot but hauntingly cold as well. As if agony and emptiness have sort of combined into one.
This is a weird feeling.
For the next 24 hours, you have 4 charges of this. But you can cast Eldritch Blast. But it doesn't do necrotic damage. You are calling upon something so tormented and so evil that this is an Eldritch Blast of Hellfire.
I knew when you said the fire and the skeleton, I was like, Hellfire!
Is that anything like alchemy fire?
Hellfire cannot be resistant against. Hellfire cannot be put out. Hellfire is the fire pulled straight from the 9 hells.
Oh shit, let's get into a fight. I want to see this baby in action.
We don't get our ship anywhere near theirs.
Like, Hellfire is not kind.
What's the range?
It's same range as
that?
Eldritch Blast.
It's Eldritch Blast?
It's Eldritch Blast, but it does Hellfire.
120 feet.
Yeah, it's Hellfire, so it's just continually burning. And anything that is killed by Hellfire has its soul just pretty much immediately sealed off. The soul is taken directly to hell.
Do I know that part or do I not know that part?
You don't know that part.
Okay.
This sort
that changes how I would use
this sort of magic is is alien to but a choice few warlocks that have made a pact with a certain Lord of the Hells.
Okay. I won't lie. This feels both like
knowledge of this.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying I keep forgetting because this was all in the midst of me moving, so I still need to send it Rojan. I'm so sorry, Rojan, but I actually probably would know this knowledge as well. Not
okay.
Because I'm a bounty hunter blood hunter.
Why? Like, we can just do this right. Is it like, what is it from your background would you think would give you a
dealing with the hells.
With the hells directly?
Indirectly.
Indirectly. How indirect? If you want to DM me it, so to keep it like a little bit of a secret.
You, yeah.
But yeah, you may know something about it.
How have you not gotten a background, Tim? Your Miss background. What the hell?
No, I have it. It
this
was
is
just I did have it. I just haven't sent it yet because I'm a terrible person.
all good. I know some people were still working on their backgrounds and stuff like that. But yeah, so while you have like, you feel this power, but you feel like just this uncomfortable emptiness inside of you as well. So it's a bit intoxicating.
Yeah, Rory's just gonna be like, this feels really weird. Powerful. I sense this is extremely dangerous. it's kind of icky at the same time, you know, but like warm, and it's like at first it feels like, oh, this is good, and then you're like, wait, this is not so good, and then it's like, no, it's good. You know what I mean? Like it's a little. it's- Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, that's.
Go
It
ahead.
might have something to do with.
Give me an
the
Arcana roll.
hells
Give me-
sulfur.
Yeah, give me
Me?
an Arcana roll.
Okay. Okay. God, I love these new dice. Let's see here. 16. Oh, dirty 20. Okay.
Dirty 20. You know that this is something. This is something directly from a patron of the Nine Hells, a devil lord to be exact.
Huh.
Well,
And because
Count
it was a
yourself
dirty
lucky.
20, you know it is the devil lord Mephistopheles.
oh shit. Oh,
Yep.
oh shit. I think
Yep.
that's our tiefling heritage in Withered Waste, actually. I think that's our heritage that we chose. Huh. Well, count yourself lucky or not, but you've been blessed by one of the devils himself.
Well, I mean, just the jewelry
Mephistopheles.
has, right? Just the jewelry.
No, the
It's-
power. The
It'll
power
go.
in that jewelry.
It's gonna go away in 24 hours, right?
Yes. So
'Cause
you have the
I-
power of hell, fire. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard stories that Hell's is interesting.
Sure, that's a word.
Hellfire on a boat is real bad.
Hellfire in general is real bad.
Oh.
Hellfire
Don't
itself
mind
has
the
the
boat.
ability to melt stone.
I'm gonna try to take it off. Can I try to take the bracelet off?
You try to take it off and it is latched onto you.
This is disconcerting.
Like
Jake,
you
just
pull it,
curse me.
you pull it, and it almost feels as if like you're pulling like it's ripping your skin off as it's trying to as you're trying just to slip it off of your wrist.
Okay,
Huh.
that's really stuck on there. Yeah. It's not going anywhere.
And then you feel like you hear a hiss as you feel like a specific part of like your forearm or the bracelet is covering begin to burn.
Well, I stopped trying to pull at it.
And as soon as you stop, it stops burning.
It did not like me trying to take it off. Shit.
Yeah, devils are little shits like that.
I don't want to set our boat on fire. What kind of gift
We'll
is
put
this,
it in another
Jacob?
boat. Oh no, this is an experiment. I
Oh,
need to see what
thanks.
this thing can do.
So I'm your guinea pig.
I actually said that as I handed it to you, saying that it was a test and I didn't know what it did. I did give a disclaimer. I did. I gave you a list for the
just
disclaimer.
Just go.
I'll say that this happened
Fall off in
like
24 hours.
this happened on like the like as we fast forward, it happened on the fast forwarded or the day we fast forwarded to.
Okay.
So this is like, you know,
I don't want this wasted.
mid-afternoon of this day. As
Okay.
this Hellfire bracelet is now attached to your wrist, Bryant comes like rushing into your room, fully restored journal in hand. We have trouble. It looks nice.
Forget it. If I start looking like I'm gonna light something on fire, throw me in the ocean. Long story. I'll tell you later.
Rory, you feeling
you get?
okay? How
I
much
don't
wine
know.
have you drank so far?
The normal amount.
Hey, he like walks over and he like sets the book down and like places his hands on like your the side of your head and like looks into your eyes and takes your temperature. Feel normal.
Yeah, told you. Normal amount. So what did you find?
Oh, I repaired the journal.
Did we gather everyone?
Yes, especially Pearl. We have problems.
I take my lute out and I start playing the gathering song that they're now used to me playing every morning.
Just mid-afternoon gathering song starts playing throughout the ship. He's like, you do know most of them are top deck. You could have just yelled for them.
I don't yell. I'm a musician.
True. Well, then he kind of just like plops into his normal chair and just waits.
Rory's just kind of swaying
Meow.
side to side, playing, looking pointedly. If she catches sight of someone, she'll just cast a message if they're kind of ignoring her.
I don't know. What are you? Are you guys?
I could just shout out.
The rest of the crew, are you ignoring the song of summons?
You can shout out for me, but I'm just playing the song of summons.
Would we be on shifts doing
You
our
would
shift
be.
things? Or
This would be mid shift. Yes.
I would try to find somebody to relieve me then, because I would be up on the crow's nest.
Yeah. You like if you are like at the helm or you're in the crow's nest, you do have somebody nearby to relieve just in case.
Yeah, I'd do the same.
Gnomes don't have especially acute hearing, do they?
I don't think so.
No, just big ears. Okay. Yeah, I would hear it. So
I'm very good at being loud with my music if I want to.
Some reason an amplifier just comes up.
Magic amplifier.
don't put the stereo out.
So once everyone's gathered, I finish my song because I have to. Get to the conclusion.
You can't pause the song mid conclusion.
Yeah, it's a good song. Crew's all jamming to it, so they know. And then I will dramatically flourish towards Bryant. We have an announcement.
He kind of tosses the journal over the Pearl, and it's completely restored.
Okay.
We have a problem.
Okay. Do we want to try the compass on the book or no?
Why don't we hear about the problem first? What do
Yeah, I'm
you
thinking
perceive as
yes.
a problem?
So-
Oh, I like that idea. Let's put a pin in that.
You remember the statue that the little crab has? That's the original
Yes.
captain of the Sprockets.
Oh,
One Barnaby Hackwrench, I believe is what his name was. He was the captain of the Sprocket for many, many years. Though
Hackwrench?
Hackwrench,
Pearl started doing Hackwrench.
though he seemed trouble in the last couple entries. Apparently they were tasked with a prisoner transport. Something that the company doesn't do, but this was of dire importance. An elf-like gentleman they took to an island the dead north of the sea here. The elf was unconscious for the entire time, even when they abandoned him on the island. But as they were returning to shore, a sort of upstart sailor introduced themselves as Venfer, claiming that they would be captain of the ship by night's end. Hackwrench's last entry mentions concern about this sailor, and then afterwards Captain Venfer takes over, begins talking about their life debt to your grandfather, something that they need to carry out to the bitter end. Apparently this Venfer stole that name from the elf that was abandoned on that island. Some sort of fey trickery. The reason why that ship is down at the bottom of the sea is because Venfer intentionally scuttled the ship. The manifest, if you look it over, will just mention a bunch of barrels and crates of various materials of almost zero worth. And then a large contingency of gunpowder. He murdered those sailors on that ship. Every one of them having information as to where this elf is located. Silenced. But I don't know what happened to this Venfer afterwards.
You said something about a life debt. Could you say that part again?
A life debt, yes. Apparently, this gnome that we only know as Venfer owed a life debt to Pearl's grandfather. And he was acting on this too as a bit of repayment.
The fake Venfer?
The
had a
fake,
life debt?
yes, the fake Venfer, the gnome Venfer.
Okay.
Just so we don't have to keep calling him Pearl's grandfather, I think I actually had given him a name if anybody wants it. Hang on. It would be, here we are. Redig Goldspar. Reddig is the grandfather.
And in the journal, he only mentions him by Goldspar.
Okay.
So it looks like whomever this fake Venfer was somehow stole the name of the elf tossed out on some random island and then murdered the crew to keep it a secret.
Pearl. Remember last time you tried the compass? Wasn't there an image that looked kind of like a map? Do you think
There
maybe...
was sort of the projection, yeah. When
Yeah.
you project it, when you put it on, yes, there was a kind of a map. Yeah.
What if, now that it's repaired, you try that again? And what if it leads to the island where the real Venfer is?
I don't understand. I mean, the fake, I'm so confused. The fake Venfer must have, why would they be saying that the real Venfer was a prisoner? And why, well, I mean, he was unconscious, but it
Maybe-
seems like there's a lot going on here.
Maybe
So,
you did something
Pearl,
across your grandfather I mean, if this fake Venfer was serving your grandfather, maybe the real Venfer crossed him somehow?
Well, seems unlikely, but so Pearl takes off the necklace and off the chain, or just takes the chain off and puts the compass on the book.
And as soon as you do, that blue light appears once again and shows a full clear view world map of the Tricorn. And I will mark this on the map here. Give me 1 minute.
Janka, and Rory motions over to the maps in the corner. I don't know how long this projection's gonna last.
I'm on it.
Trying to find something to represent an island here.
Gonna do
You know what? So we're just gonna use that for now. So right on the lip of the storm, the map shows this island
Oh shit.
along with a
Definitely draw this up
course,
as quickly as possible.
along with a course charted from tide light. But instead of taking the direct route, which would just be out and north past Asborough and north, has them going around, completely around Terramere, around Everden, and then moving past Asborough to that island. A long, unneeded journey.
Odd. Does it look like there was any other like stops along the way that were marked?
No, this was a full round trip.
Pearl, is it? No, I guess I can't look through the journal while the projection is set.
Yeah, because the compass is sitting on it, and then the map fades, and then Pearl, you see like a image of your grandfather standing there, like his hands behind his back. Hackwrench, I must not dally. What you are carrying is something of dire importance and extreme danger. It cannot be allowed to wake up. You must keep him sedated the entire journey. Once you arrive at your destination, chain him to a tree and leave. Don't talk to him. Don't show him any kindness. As soon as you are done, you are to come back to Tidelight and report your findings. I know this is out of the ordinary for something I would normally ask of you, but at the moment you are the only one I can trust. This elf needs to disappear. And the message ends, and the compass closes.
How intriguing. Well, Pearl, looks like there's some things Grandpappy was keeping from you.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I knew Vanfer as a druid mentor, but perhaps there was much more to him. Out of character, very quickly, Rojan, if Vanfer in fact was my druid mentor and had a druid circle, he would be a level 20 druid?
Around there. Like he would be up and along in his levels. Maybe not completely level 20, but at least 15 plus.
Reasonably powerful then.
Oh, extremely powerful.
Very much
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
all right.
like he himself would be an issue for a group of people.
Okay, yeah, all right. Um,
Well, it's interesting information. Maybe one day when you get back to your family, you can maybe dig into it a little more. If we happen to be in the area, I guess we could check it out, but I don't really know if we'll be out that far anytime soon.
well, it would be the ultimate awkward conversation, wouldn't it now?
I mean, I've had some pretty awkward conversations in my time, but
I mean, like, how would this go? Grandfather, we found a sunken ship. I mean, where do you start? Um,
fair.
really, I mean, the captain that he sent is a statue in a duffel bag. I mean, it's going from bad to worse. But we do have some help, perhaps here. We
Well,
need
if we,
to know if we could figure out what happened to the captain, how he was petrified. Perhaps we can find somebody who can undo it. If
we
in
just need to
fact,
find something that unpetrifies. There's, what I recall, certain elixirs or potions or certain figures of power, like healers of certain
I'm going to look to Bryant
powerful levels.
and say, do you have suggestions?
That's at least what I've heard in stories.
Well, if you're looking to remove petrification, you may check with druids, of course. Holy people, the clerics, paladins may have something.
That's what I've heard about.
Let me see here, because I need to see the extreme rules. Well, not the extreme rules, but the exact rules for this.
But Pearl, we might be able to find somebody in Echo Bay that might know of a way.
He's like, well, your best bets would be to look for another druid, a ranger, cleric, bard, or one of the machine-y types, those artificers.
Mm.
I'm just wondering if, would there be more that Captain Hackwrench here could add to the story?
Oh, for sure. I 100% want to hear his side of things. We'll keep him in the bag for now until we find a solution to the petrification.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he could add a whole lot to this story, but what if he's the bad guy?
I mean, he is just a gnome, right?
As far as we know. But as far as we knew, that this Venfer guy was just a teacher.
Well, I mean, you're
Right,
going
right.
on my word, though. I mean,
Well, of course I am. I trust you.
well,
That's a good
I
point.
don't trust myself right now, Shar. I mean, I'm seeing things written on the walls in my room. I'm seeing Vanfer floating on the ocean. I mean, I don't sound like the most reliable individual right now. Really.
I mean, you're not wrong, but there is some crazy shit in the world. I mean, look at Bill over here. No offense.
Ye calling me crazy, matey?
Nah, I'm just saying you're weird, man.
I try not to look at him, honestly.
I'd like to debate that, matey, but I can't take that away from you.
That's fair.
Hey, I like weird. It's just strange. That's all.
Have you ever noticed how his tentacles sometimes you feel like they're following you? Like, anyway.
I'd say I'm keeping an eye on ye, but at least I'm keeping a tentacle in your
Oh.
general direction.
I just. No.
Well, if we take a trip into Echo Bay.
Aye.
There may be someone that you can approach.
You have a possible contact.
Less of a contact and more of a I know of someone.
Heard of someone.
Yes.
What kind of someone?
Let's just say that he's not on the up and up in regards to, well, any sort of authority.
Oh, I'll get along with them fine.
A necromancer, a bit of a corpse collector.
I take that back.
Not really a people person, but if somebody were to say need someone unpetrified, they may be the person to go to.
I was like, I'll get along with him just fine.
Ugh. Undead tentacles. Ugh. Okay. What's their name? Do you know a name?
All I know of him is his name, or what others call him as the Shade. I know
Something to go by.
it's not great. Sounds like somebody, like a child, made the name for him, but it's what
enough
you
for me.
get.
It's enough for me. We can get the information, find out where to make contact with the Shade. I always find it a little pretentious when people add a "the" to the top of their titles.
Right.
But, you know.
It's like,
Yeah.
I am the Shade. I am the Gold Keeper. Just like, just have a name.
Yeah.
Ship be the Wanderer. Wait.
Okay, for items, it's okay. For a ship. A ship is big. It encompasses, crew and people. And it's more of an idea, a statement.
Was a humor, Captain. You don't need to justify yourself to me.
I can never tell when you're joking.
I mean, it would be simpler if people just, like you said, stick to a name, right, Vic? I mean, Mary. I mean, Rory.
Fair point. But one is so boring.
I'm not
I
disagreeing.
tried explaining that to me ex-wife. It didn't go over so well.
You're married?
Yeah, you were married. She made me do it.
It was a joke, mateys.
See, I can never
Insight
tell.
check.
He's got the same tone of voice for everything.
Literally the
Inside
reverse
check
of
that
Rory, who
shit.
has like a million different tones. Cannonball is just always stuck in the same box.
I can't tell if he's being serious.
Can never tell.
So as you're having this conversation, an ear-splitting screech tears through the surrounding area as the ship is violently rocked. As you look out, like the multiple windows that Rory has, and you can see these large, like gargantuan tentacles coming up out of the water.
I didn't
ain't
have to be
responsible for those ones.
tentacles.
Not me, not my fault.
And as like this is going on, you hear an alarm bell from the top deck as somebody screams out, "We are being boarded."
Boarded.
Oh, goody. Our food came to us.
As these twisted combinations of sea life and shell sort of clamber up onto the deck itself, almost looking like walking reefs. The only thing that gives them sort of like a humanistic look is the twisted faces that are just caught in looks of terror and torment as they just begin to shamble up onto the ship and start heading towards the crew. And that's where we're going to end for this week.
Get to use your bracelet.
Not on the ship.
Not on our ship, damn it.
Don't point it at the ship then.
Use the hellfire,
Jeez.
Rory.
If I put on a tentacle and then the tentacle on fire hits the ship, still a problem.
So
Have
yeah,
good aim. Don't fuck it up.
Trust me, I would love to, but
it's I need to find a decent sized water map that I can use for this. But yeah, so this is going to do it for us this week. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. Is not the only show that we do. Monday nights you have us here on Tricorn Isles, but also once everything gets spinning back up and on a regular schedule, we also have Mass Effect Horizons, which is a 5th edition mod Mass Effect game that is run by Zorro that sort of rotates in and out with this show. On Tuesdays, you have us on Destiny Forge Campaign 3, which I believe we are on hold for one more week. That way, when we come back, the entire cast and crew is here for a very deep dive lore dump that is going to be.
I'll be here tomorrow.
Opening, yeah, but Raven won't. So we're gonna put it on. We're gonna put it on hold for one more week. That way, everyone can be here for the lore dump because it's going to be very important for everyone. But we will be back next week on Tuesday for the continuation of Destiny 4 Season 3, Campaign 3, I should say. On Saturdays, we have rotating games as well. On this upcoming Saturday, we have an episode of Withered Wastes. One of those. Withered Wastes, which is a 5th edition game that I run. And then on the rotating Saturday is Wayward Wanderers, which is a Pathfinder 2 Extinction Curse campaign run by Azerin. And then we'll come back next week on Monday for another episode of Tricorn Isles, where everyone is going to be fighting some twisted sea creatures. But for now, we are going to head on out. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in, and we will see you later.